Well, hello everyone. Happy Thursday. This is a little bit of an unexpected stream. In fact, I wasn't really sure I was going to do this stream up until about, 2 minutes ago. And I'm going to explain what is going on. I just want to acknowledge Chase is one of the first people in the chat. Chase says, "Go on Timcast so you can have a platform." Nah, I'm good. I'm really, really, really good. But guys, we are here for kind of an interesting event, an event that only happens when the stars align, when everything is in perfect order. We are here for a meta reaction stream. We have not done a good meta reaction stream since what was the last one we did? What was it? Who is that crazy black conservative? What is her name? Treehouse News. Treehouse News was no, we did. Well, okay, so here is the history of meta reaction streaming on my channel. The first meta reaction stream I ever did was when I discovered that the white identitarians were doing a stream about me, and it's always fun when white identitarians are literally doing entire hours long streams about you. But I happened to get wind of this probably what, like almost a year ago now, when I was researching the work and the article that I wrote on them. And so what I did is I found out they were going to go live and talk about me about half an hour before they did. And so I streamed their stream and reacted to it in real time. And they didn't really like that too much. The second meta reaction stream was Treehouse News, when I found out that Treehouse News happened to be live and complaining about me. And Treehouse News was great because Treehouse News was so pissed that I was meta reaction streaming her that she actually started yelling racial slurs, like legitimate, like really bad racial slurs on her stream, so that she was trying to demonetize me, and it didn't work. I'm still fully monetized on that to this day. So that was the second meta reaction stream, and the last meta reaction stream was the Fakertarians, because as you guys may know, the Fakertarians are the loser brigade within the Libertarian Party. They're exactly like the whiny conservatives we're going to watch today. And so we did a meta reaction stream to the Fakertarians, and then they started meta streaming me, and it was a little weird. But today we have another reaction stream. Oh, Ty, I'm so glad you're here. Ty, I realized last night I don't think I answered your super chat that you sent in. I think I missed it. So I apologize for that. But Ty knows the meta reaction stream history: White Identitarians, Treehouse News, Fakertarians. And now we are adding another illustrious meta reaction stream to our mix. And it's a conservative meta reaction stream because conservatives are obsessed with me. They really are. Conservatives are like the deranged ex that I never experienced when I was dating. And maybe this is payback for me, like never experiencing the phenomenon of the deranged ex when I was dating. Maybe I just had really good choice and I didn't date anyone that turned into a deranged ex. I don't know. But conservatives are my deranged ex. I broke up with conservatives over a year ago. I joined the Libertarian Party like back in like April of 2021. I broke up with conservatives over a year ago, and they won't let me go. They just keep complaining about me and tweeting about me and whining about me. And the stream we're going to watch today, the conservatives running this account are so obsessed with me that apparently they have watched hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of my content to pull clips out of context to try to make me look like a bully because they're upset that I offended their fragile sensibilities about Matt Walsh. They're obsessed with me and they won't stop. It's like, if you don't like the content that I post, there's a really easy solution. Don't watch it. That's all you need to do. People post content on YouTube every single day, every single moment of every single day that I disagree with, that I don't care to watch, that I think is stupid, that people post content about me all the time that I think is dumb. And it's like, you know what I do in those circumstances? I don't watch it. I very rarely watch content that's actually produced about myself. So I'm really kind of looking forward to this. It's going to be an interesting exercise. But conservatives just can't get over me. They can't get over the fact that I have absolutely no interest at all in being a part of their little club. I have absolutely no interest in like talking their talking points. And I was wondering today, I was like, am I like one of the most high profile people to leave the left that is also kind of left the right after that? I don't know. But let me show you what we're going to be watching today for our meta reaction stream. It starts at 2 p.m. So we have about 15 minutes, whatever. This is what we're going to be watching. It's on a channel called iHypocrite. And by the way, I blocked iHypocrite on Twitter over a year ago. I blocked them when I broke up with conservatives. And so and they retweet this bullshit. I think they're like probably friends with Ian Miles Chung or something. And like so I blocked them like so for people who say, "Carlin, why don't you just block them and move on?" Dude, I literally blocked these people over a fucking year ago. And they are still obsessed with me. They don't move on. They don't. So I got wind of this a little earlier today, and I was like, whatever, let them cry, let them complain, like, let them do their thing. And then I was like, you know what, fuck it, I've got some free time this afternoon, let's do a little meta reaction stream. So they've put together this video. Obviously, I look like I'm having a moment there because you guys know sometimes I get emotional and I yell at the camera. Basically, what we're going to see in this video, I'm going to pause it, is, "We don't like your tone and you are mean to us." That's what it's going to be. "We don't like your tone." It's like pearl clutching, just like the woke leftists that these are. So this is on a channel called iHypocrite. You can see they've already got the chat going. We're gonna watch a little bit of the chat too. You can see, let's see. I especially like, so this guy, Just Asking, he's on my channel. He watches my stuff all the time. People are already accusing him of being my sock account. I'm not that account. Conservatives are so paranoid over like my burner accounts. Burner accounts, by the way, that I have said repeatedly that I don't actually use. I don't even tweet. I tweet from my own account enough. I don't tweet from burner accounts at all. I just use burner accounts to fuck with them. And it's like, this is how dumb conservatives are. Like, I literally will tell you, I am just using burner accounts to make you paranoid and fuck with you. And they're like, "Carlin is tweeting from these burner accounts." I'm like, I'm literally telling you what I'm doing. They only exist to fuck with you. I don't even do anything with them. You can look at my burner accounts if you know, well, you guys know some of them, you don't know all of them. Like, you can look at my burner accounts and see that there are no tweets sent from those accounts at all. But every single time someone says something about me that is supportive, they're like, "Ew, this is just Carlin burner account." It's like, dude, you are paranoid. Paranoid. My God. "I've been looking forward to this grifter getting what she deserves." How am I, like, conservatives apparently think I'm grifting by telling them to go fuck themselves? How am I making money from that? If I, conservatives, let me just let me lay this out. Let me lay this out. If I was really a grifter, I would have done what Candace Owens did and just started spewing your talking points that I didn't even agree with. I know how to, conservatives, I know how to whisper sweet nothings in your ear like you have never heard before. I know exactly what you want to hear from me. I know exactly what I need to say in order to get you to give me money. And I don't do it because I don't believe in it. I think you're wrong, and I think you're acting like woke leftists, and that's why I left your movement over a year ago to join the Libertarian Party, to do stuff with the Libertarians, because I agree with the Libertarians, and the Libertarians aren't whiny, woke snowflakes like you are. They don't get it. It's like they're calling me a grifter when I, like, spoiler alert, guys, you don't make any money when you join the Libertarian Party. You don't make any money when you become like a liberty activist. You don't make any money when you're constantly trying to like get people to realize that we need to defund the public schools. It is not a lucrative profession at all, but conservatives seem to think it is. So they're whining about how I'm a grifter. "The doc is a typical SJW infiltrator." We're gonna turn the chat on too when we're gonna have the chat up here too, because I want to be able to see what's going on in this chat when it premieres. "The doc is a typical SJW infiltrator. She's just really bad at it." I am literally the Libertarian Party of nominee, the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire nominee for governor, and you're gonna say I'm an SJW? No, I just don't like you. I just don't like you, conservatives. Alex, your friend is in the chat. Your troublemaking friend that I blocked on the channel a while ago is in the chat. Oh, this guy. Oh, Frank. Oh, Frank is Chrissy Mayr's producer or like simp. I don't know. Frank is one of Carrie Smith's. He's one of Carrie Smith's besties, and we all know how Carrie Smith feels about me. That raging, raging, raging hypocrite. Maybe I'll make that a little bit bigger. I predict tomorrow, because of this video, she will walk away from libertarians and the right. No. See, this is the other thing that conservatives like to say about me. Conservatives are like, you're going to leave the libertarians at any moment. Dude, I have literally been in the Libertarian Party 10 times longer than I was a Republican. 10 times longer. And they're like, any minute. Any minute. Any minute. Carlin is going to leave the libertarians. The libertarians are going to find out how awful she is. Do you guys know that the same people who are shilling this video about me, they actually they privately messaged the new chair of the Libertarian National Party to spread lies and bullshit about me. They actually privately reached out to Angela McArdle to spread lies and bullshit about me. She's the new chair of the Libertarian Party about a month ago. And the reason I know that is because she messaged me immediately and she says, I got these weird messages. And I said, oh yeah? She said, oh yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with anything you did. I was like, thanks, Angela. So they literally did. Conservatives literally did try to cancel me with the Libertarian Party. That's true. And now we have Frank here, Chrissy Mayr's simp, saying, I bet she will walk away from the libertarians. No, that's not going to happen, Frank. In your wildest wet dreams, my friend, that is not going to happen. Who has the Carlin reaction stream on their bingo card? They don't know I'm meta streaming yet. They haven't figured out that I'm meta streaming. Oh, she's already started it. They do know I'm meta streaming. Hi, hypocrites. At least they acknowledge I hypocrite. At least they acknowledge that. We're gonna, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to change how this is showing up on my YouTube real quick, just so I can actually, let's see, default view. There we go. And now let me see if I can just refresh this, and then the chat should come up. Now, there it goes. Now we can watch the chat right next to the video. Now we can watch the chat right next to the video. Oh, it looks like, Alex, your friend is like friends with iHypocrite. At least iHypocrite admits who exactly they are. A conservative woke hypocrite. And we know they're watching me. Because you're obsessed with me, conservatives. I know you're obsessed with me. It's sad but true. Oh gosh, I should have made another cup of coffee before I started this stream. Maybe Victor will come up and make me a coffee. Maybe Victor will come and collect my cup and get me some more coffee. I'm going to text him. Can you do me a favor and come up and get my mug and make me another coffee? Because I'm live on the internet. This is what husbands are for. Right here. Let's see, what else are they saying? So is she just another Twitter woke scold? I cry way more about conservatives on Twitter and how much they suck than I do about the woke these days. Conservatives are woke. Listen, like for me, I make absolutely no distinction at all between the woke left and the woke right. They're the same. And I'm sorry if that offends people, but like I've been dealing with bullshit like this from conservatives for over a year. Victor, I love you. You're the best husband in the world. Thank you. Someone asked me last night what is my favorite thing about Victor, and that the fact that he will get up from his desk to come make me a cup of coffee is my favorite thing about him. All right, guys, mount that like button if you're ready for meta reaction stream. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, I guess. Oh my god. Like I seriously wonder how many hours these people watched of my content to be able to create their little fucking hit piece fucking video. Who are you? Look at these people. You want to talk about who's the grifter? They're like invest. Oh, that's why. That's why. Tree of Logic. Tree of Logic from second meta reaction stream fame. That's why we're doing this. Tree of Logic happens to be in the I hypocrite description. Huh. Huh. Isn't that interesting, Tree of Logic? Maybe we'll do an update on the meta reaction stream I did about you. Okay, let's see what else she's saying. Let's see. Um, no guilt, pride only. Okay, so this guy is one of the anti-white people. This guy's is with the white identitarians. This no guilt, only pride guy. That's with the like anti-white white identitarians, the white well-being movement. That's who that is. So we already know these are not good people. Thank you, Victor. I appreciate it. So these are not good people. Frank, she's been having a meltdown on Twitter. Oh, have I, Frank? Have I, simp Frank? Have I? It's the other thing. Like, these people project all the time. It's like they are so obsessed with me that they can't get over me after I broke up with them over a year ago. And they're like, she's having a meltdown. Like, dude, you guys are still talking about me over a year fucking later. Oh, they're going to come into my stream now. Watch this. I am confident you will not leave the Libertarian Party because there is no other legitimate party left for you to join. No, I won't leave the Libertarian Party because I align more with the Libertarians. I like the Libertarians. I am friends with the Libertarians. I do activism with the Libertarians. The Libertarians don't just whine and complain on Twitter. The Libertarians actually do stuff. I believe in what the Libertarian Party is promoting in their platform. That's why I won't leave the Libertarian Party. God. It's really not that hard, guys. As soon as I figured out the Libertarian Party wasn't completely woke, I went and became a libertarian because that's where I fit in. I don't believe in a lot of conservative bullshit. I never did. Oh, Alex, they're talking about you. Alex, apparently our Sassy Saturdays precipitated this, predicting Carlin and Graphically Alex will be breaking up in less than a month. He already left her stream due to anti-con reeing. Well, no, he didn't actually. Alex, did you talk publicly about leaving the Zoom the other day? Who would know that Alex left my community Zoom the other day because he was annoyed that we were talking about abortion? And by the way, Alex and I are cool. And the community is fine. But I'm just wondering how they knew that. Alex, you and I are going to have a talk later about where you said that. Because, and the reason I asked this, and I'm not mad at Alex, the reason I asked this is that the people in this community literally pay to be members of my locals communities in order to spy on me. This is how obsessed they are. They literally, oh, he mentioned it on his channel. Okay, so that makes me feel better. Like, I don't care if Alex mentioned that publicly. Alex can talk about whatever he wants. My concern was that I had an infiltrator in my community that was on the community Zoom and is now again taking things out of context because that's all they know how to do. But if Alex mentioned it on his channel, that's fine. I don't really care about that. But no, graphically, Alex and I will not be breaking up. I am so sorry to disappoint you guys. I am so sorry to disappoint you. That won't be happening either. I have no idea who this fat potato is. That's your typical conservative right there. Wokeness must be high in calories. I literally wrote a book about fighting back against the woke. While these people are whining and complaining on Twitter, I'm writing books and working with parents and doing things in real life that actually make a difference. And that's really why they're angry. That's really, really why they're angry. I display wishy-washy opinions. My opinions have been incredibly consistent for the time that you guys have known who I was. This is another one from this feed because now they're all going to start coming. Please come and join my stream, conservatives. Please come and join it because the more I'm just going to make you watch ads, and the more you who join my stream, the more money I make. But my opinions have not been wishy-washy. I have been incredibly consistent on my opinions. And if someone can't provide an example of when I've been wishy-washy, I would, well, they make shit up all the time. Yeah, they make shit up all the time. Let's see. Let's see what else they're saying. She was always one of those anti-CRTs, more concerned about the backlash than the anti-white parts of CRT. Okay, so this person is a white identitarian. That person is in the white well-being movement. Anytime you see people complaining about Carlin won't say critical race theory is anti-white, universally, those are people in the white well-being movement, the white positivity movement, the white identitarian movement. Almost anytime you see anyone saying CRT is anti-white, those are bad people. And I've covered that extensively on this channel. I'm not going to rehash it again here, but just make sure you're watching for that in the chat, because that indicates that they are like a bad person, or at least a very sad and pathetic person. Let's see. Oh, Frank thinks that Nick Gillespie's a real libertarian. That explains a lot. Frank, if Frank were in the Libertarian Party, Frank would be a member of the loser brigade in the Libertarian Party. That explains a lot. She was just about to put Alex on blast and call him a turncoat on her channel. No, I wasn't. See, this is like, at any point in this stream, have I put Alex on blast or called him a turncoat? No, I haven't. That is a flat out lie, as you guys can now witness. Oh, goodness. Goodness, 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 goodness. Well, it's about to premiere, so we're going to keep an eye on the chat. And because I actually think the chat's probably going to be the most intriguing part of this. I don't think the video is going to be anything other than clips that are taken out of context. But we'll see. But guys, oh gosh, that's loud. Hang on. I don't want to listen to countdown music. So what I think we're going to see here, guys, is again, a lot of out of context clips, because this is all they know how to do. And it's like, if this is what conservatives are spending their time doing, is anyone actually surprised? Is anyone actually surprised that I said, you guys are a waste of my fucking time because you're focused on the wrong things? Just saying. Just saying. Just saying. Most of the people in this chat are going to be either Carrie Smith cronies like Frank, this newly awakened bitch who's just really upset that I blocked her from my channel. She claims to like, oh god, that one is like, my god. We're going to probably see like the anti-white grifters coming in. Basically, we're going to see like all of the horrible parts that make people believe that the conservative movement is full of raging idiots and toddlers and overt racists. And this is what conservatives allow. I'm sorry, if these are the people that you are going to lift up to be your influencers, that you are going to allow to speak for you, you get what you get. You get what you get. They're like, oh my god, she's streaming this. Yes, MetaStream is in effect. Maybe I'll be able to sue them for defamation after this. That'd be pretty great. We'll see the impact of this, and we'll see if it has any impact on my channel. I don't know if I'd actually do that, but we'll see. I kind of feel like it's the same thing with like karmic retribution. It's like, or not karmic retribution, but like me from my locals fucking with people. This is from my locals. Forms of like mini psyops. This is from my locals. Like, they took this from my locals. Why do you think I went to psychology school? They are in my locals, but, stealing my content. I kind of think that that's where this is from. They are literally part in my locals taking my content. If God didn't want me to do this, it wouldn't feel so good to do it. Me. I'm really good at it. I am really good at fucking with people. God wouldn't have given me this gift if I wasn't supposed to use it. True, you fucking and I don't like losers. Seeing people hurt. But to be honest, wow, it's like they do it to themselves. I'm not doing anything to them. That's true. They do it to themselves. Yes. This is the thing about psychological fuckery.
right?
This is where
I'm
I
not
lay
really
out my
doing
entire
anything.
plan.
I might say a word,
and they don't
or
understand
tweet a
what they're
tweet,
watching.
or like throw a bomb.
This is where I
But if
literally
the
lay out
person that
my
I'm throwing the
entire
bomb
plan,
to
and they're like
just steps
still
to one
oblivious to what
side
I'm doing.
and doesn't catch the fucking bomb, then I can't. Then I have no power over that.
Holy shit, Carrie's in there!
I've been
Carrie's in
bullied
there!
for the past
Carrie's
year and
in
a
there!
half by these people.
Of course
Every
Carrie's in
fucking
there!
day.
If someone says they hate Carlin, Carrie's like, boom! I'm there!
I don't know why
hate Carlin
everyone is
too!
so surprised that a psychologist
Dragon
is
Water.
psychologically fucking with her enemies.
Carrie's in there, of course she
One of the
is!
main reasons I studied
What
psychology
a
is I
good
wanted to learn how to
Christian
fuck with
Carrie
people.
Smith is!
It's funny. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna send this
sorry.
to Carrie
Some
Smith's
people just
pastor.
deserve to be
Bradley,
fucked with.
you're getting a
I'll
video.
tell you something
I'm
off the
sending
Oh, I
this to
record,
want all
Carrie
that
Smith's
smoke.
pastor.
I want that drama.
Oh,
Bring
Treehouse
your fat ass over here.
Grifter.
Drama. She know I live for that shit. I'm not scared of that hell.
Oh, Treehouse News. Oh, remember
But it's been going
when?
on for a year and a half.
Oh
over
God!
a year and a
well,
half.
this is my crying video. You guys have seen this, but like, you guys remember the amount of times I've offered Treehouse News to come on my channel and debate me, and she has denied every single time.
Like
Oh, this is when Adam was shilling for the anti-white people. So this is them. This is them shilling for the white identitarians. That's what we're watching right now.
By conservatives and
Holy
Christians
shit!
and people in the
Carrie,
anti-woke
Carrie,
community
you
so
are
fucking
literally
badly that I
colluding
think
with
that
people who are shilling for the white identitarians, Carrie, just like I said. Just like I said, Carrie.
It's much more fresh because it's constantly going on. My rape was one night. It was one night. These people have been doing this to me for...
I would be
True.
lying if I said there weren't more than a few.
Wait, so they're saying that me talking about the fact that these people have been bullying me and harassing me for a year and a half, they're saying that that is proof that I'm a bully? That's literally what they're doing. They're literally saying that me talking about being bullied and harassed and having people dox my friends and go after my friends for a year and a half, they're literally saying that's evidence of me being a bully. These people are morons.
Out your soul. You fucking asked Kieran how much I fuck with him.
That's true. I do fuck with Kieran
don't
still
actually
to this
usually
day.
revel
Still
in
to
the
this
sorrows
day.
of others.
Still to this
I don't.
day. He's still talking about
But
me
tonight
to
I'm
this
going to.
day. Still
I
to
have
this day.
begged and pleaded and groveled for this shit to stop.
True.
I have said,
True.
just leave me the fuck alone and let me do my work.
This Carrie Smith is celebrating this right now. Carrie Smith, who claims not to be an SJW, is acting just like an SJW again. I know I am shocked by this revelation. My
Years of bullying and
God.
harassment.
You can take the girl out of the left, but you can't take the left out of the girl. And that's why today we're going to be talking
Oh, I
about
guess not.
Dr. Karlin Borisenko, someone who many, if not most of you, will already be at least somewhat familiar with. Karlin exploded onto the online conservative
Oh, God,
scene
and I
a
really
couple
wish I
years
never
ago,
had.
quickly gaining widespread support and acceptance from conservatives. However, recently she's been making
Not
tweets
recently,
such as this
over a
one,
year,
which says,
over
making
a
sure
year,
conservatives
over
lose in 2024 is now my number one priority.
Yes, it
They do
is.
not deserve to win
Has
and
been for
shouldn't
over a
be
year.
trusted with
Over
power.
a
All it takes is a
fucking
few
year.
percent
These
of the
guys-
politically homeless and
guys
former
are
Democrats
so
to
on the
realize
ball
that conservatives
they
are
missed
authoritarian psychos.
when
to
I
do
joined
it.
the
How did
Libertarian
it come
Party
to
in
this?
April of
That's what we're going to look
2021.
at today. But first, a quick word from our sponsors. Now, over the years,
I'm the grifter. I'm the grifter. They literally have people who are paying them to create this bullshit content for likes and clicks and outrage junkies, but I'm the grifter? Have you guys seen me do any sponsorship in this video? Have you guys seen me shilling for any company? Have you guys seen that at all? But I'm the grifter? This is projection. Oh my God. I'm not gonna play the sound when they're shilling their shit. I'm sorry. You can look at it. They're obviously doing the gold thing. Look, this is white identitarian right here. This person has like legit SS symbol. Like this is like legit like Nazi shit right here. That's who you're mingling with, Carrie. Right here. That's who this type of work appears to. Dave Rubin doesn't adore me anymore. That's fine with me too. Karlin is the female Ethan Ralph confirmed. This is Frank, again, Simp Frank, we're going to call him. Oh, got to turn the sound back up.
Wrote a
Let's
Medium
see.
post titled, "After attending a Trump rally, I realized Democrats are not ready for
They're
2020."
saying
In her
I'm
article,
sending
she
the
talked
Nazis
about
there.
having
No,
been
no,
a
no, honey.
Democrat for 20
They're
years.
saying in the
but
chat that
having
I'm sending the
become
Nazis there. No, 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 honey.
disenfranchised
That's
due
just who
to
you appeal
being
to. That's just
bullied
who
by
you appeal
social
to.
justice warriors in the knitting community.
That's just
This
who you
post
appeal
was
to.
very well received in conservative circles and immediately opened doors for Carlin.
I wish
One
I'd
being
never
an
written that
invitation
post.
to join Brandon Straka's Walkaway organization, and the other, the opportunity to do a video for PragerU.
Oh, God.
I wouldn't be
Wish
caught
I'd
dead.
never done that, too. Look, Carlin, why do you look like a cross between a toad and an orangutan? That's who we can expect the conservative audience to be. Image obsessed, obsessed with weight, obsessed with all of these things. It's just
Well,
absolutely,
it all
they're the
started
lowest
with knitting.
form of humanity.
Moved for reasons we'll get into later, but it was posted in
Carrie's
July
still
of
in there.
2020. And looking at
Carrie's still in there.
you can
Carrie's
see
still
that
in
that
there
was the best month
mingling with the
Carlin's
white
YouTube channel ever
identitarians,
had
because
in terms
in
of
the land
subscriber
of
gain,
Carrie
gaining
Smith, it is actually
26,000
more important to hate
subscribers
me
the
than
month
do
of the
anything.
PragerU video. Carlin would
Oh,
score
they're going to show
another
you my
big win
sub.
in
Oh, yeah, I lose
February of
subscribers all the time.
2021 when she was
100%.
leaked internal images of Coca-Cola diversity
Yes.
training, which include the slide, "Try to be less white."
Yep.
Breaking this story rose Carlin's profile even higher.
No, breaking the story made my
Her
life a living hell
bonafides
because
as
that
a
was when
mover and
conservatives started to
shaker in
cancel
the
me
anti-woke
really badly.
community. As for the walk away movement, I talked to somebody inside the organization
Mike
to try
Harlow.
to understand what it
Mike
meant to be
Harlow.
a part of that.
Mike
and it was explained to
Harlow.
me that essentially
Mike
people like
Harlow.
Carlin
Mike
were given
Harlow.
paid speaking
Mike Harlow.
engagements,
That's who
often
they
on a
talk
weekly
to.
basis, where they would travel to different cities to do
We
rallies
weren't really
and
paid anything.
conventions,
Walkaway
giving
doesn't really pay
speeches
anything.
about how they walked away from the left
Walkaway
and
doesn't
being
pay
paid to do so.
anything.
And
Like
it was at one of these
$250 a
events
speech.
where
$250 a speech. That's what I made from Walkaway.
or at least would have started to show had people been paying closer attention.
By the way, if I've really built my audience from Walkaway, then why isn't Mike Harlow's audience significantly bigger than mine? Because Mike Harlow's been doing Walkaway longer than me. Oh, the Ingleside. Okay, good. Yeah, where I got kicked out of I'm not going to play this yet. So they can re all they want. If Walkaway is really the reason that I built my audience, then why doesn't Mike Harlow have a bigger audience than me? Mike Harlow has done significantly more Walkaway events than me. Then why do they have it? So this is the video that I made right the day after I got kicked out of that hotel. It was a deeply traumatic thing for me. The reason I'm not playing the sound is I actually had to go to trauma therapy, like 2 different types of trauma therapy for months after this to be able to deal with this situation. Everything that I said, it went down exactly like I said. I've showed evidence for this multiple times. And this is something that conservatives, and especially Carrie Smith, like to make fun of. They really think that making fun of someone who was put through like legitimate trauma is something that adults do on the internet. So I'm not playing this because this actually was a deeply traumatic. I'm not playing the sound anyway. I can see what it says and you guys can go back and watch the video for yourself. But this was actually a deeply traumatic experience for me that required actual therapy to overcome, because unlike Carrie Smith and her obvious mommy issues that she has not worked out, I actually did take responsibility as an adult and went to therapy to make sure that I didn't develop PTSD from this whole thing, because I was already starting to. But they're going to make fun of that because that's what good Christians do. That's what good Christians do, isn't
Telling
it?
people her story of how she was oppressed for wearing a Trump mask, even going on.
Well, Glenn Beck asked me if I wanted to go on, and I said yes, and I didn't really want to, but I wasn't oppressed. I was kicked out of the hotel because the teenager staff there was pissed off that I was wearing a Trump mask, and that is exactly what happened, and they have never provided any. So what happened? So the Ingleside Hotel claims that I was running up and down the hallways, banging on doors and yelling. They have never provided 1 ounce of video of this happening. They've never provided 1 photograph of this happening. And I told them, I said, release the key card records for my room, which will show exactly when my doors open and exactly when the doors closed. And they refused to do that. The Ingleside Hotel has provided 0 evidence that I ever did what they said I did. This will be the first time in the history of cameras, cameras and phones, the first time in the history of everyone having one of these in their pocket, that a person has run up and down the halls of a hotel room screaming and no one got a video of it, and no one got a photo of it, and there's no evidence at all that it actually happened. You know why there's no evidence at all that it actually happened? Because it didn't happen. It didn't happen. I mean, can I try to copyright strike their video? Nah, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. So this is, my God. Look at, they're tagging me in the chat. Again, I'm not playing the sound of this because I'm not going to put myself through reliving. This is 2 fucking years ago. This is how obsessed conservatives are with me. This was 2 years ago. I went to therapy. I worked out my feelings. I moved on with life. Conservatives are still obsessed with something that happened 2 years ago. 2 years ago. Do you guys understand why I don't want to be a part of that? Do you guys understand why I have no interest in being a part of this group like grifter Carrie Smith, good Christian Carrie Smith, who is now mingling with legitimate white identitarians in this group over here? Do you guys see? This is 2 years ago. Yeah, just asking. You're doing a great job. Oh, now they're upset that I'm not playing the sound. No, I'm not going to play the sound. You guys can go fuck yourselves. You're just lying, and you're gonna let's watch. I promise you, I hypocrite. I will turn on the sound the very minute that you show a video of me running up and down the hall screaming, the very minute that you show a photograph of me running up and down the hall screaming, the very minute that you show any actual evidence at all that I did any of what I was accused of, I will turn on the sound and play that for everyone to see. You want to know why that's not going to happen? Because no evidence exists. No evidence exists. Literally no evidence exists, which is why what you're seeing on the screen right now is the statement from the hotel with 0 videos, a hotel. Do you guys know any hotels that don't have like security cameras in their main hallways and their main corridors? Because this hotel claims that they just lost the footage. They just don't have the video of this incident. They have no video, no photographs, no keycard evidence. And that's why you're not seeing any evidence on the screen right now. Because they don't have it. They don't have it. Yeah, people in the chat are saying, Carrie says, she's not a plant. She's just a narcissist and a psychopath and a con artist and a stalker. Carrie, your pastor's getting a video of this. Carrie Smith obsessed with me as always. Carrie Smith obsessed with me as always. Just asking if that's true, then why has she done 30 to 40-minute videos on me, Harlow, Krigler, Debville, McCarran, and other former associates? Because you're all raging fucking lunatics. Oh, Mikey's speaking. Okay. This is...
so much as well.
This is...
And the thing is, she was trying to manipulate me so hard for months and months and months.
Huh?
She must have said hundreds of times to me, you know I couldn't have done it because we were on the phone. We were on the phone for like 20 minutes. What does that prove? I mean, it's kind of like OJ saying, I was on the phone ordering pizza during the day, so I couldn't have killed him.
Okay, so Mike Harlow just admitted that he was on the phone with me when all of this happened. He just admitted he was on the fucking phone with me when all this happened. I'm not watching this video either. Mike Harlow wants way too much for me to watch this video. Way too much.
The number of witnesses on the hotel side.
They're still talking, crying about the hotel. My God. So this is basically like Carrie's little bullying horde again. If you guys had any doubt, every time I say that Carrie Smith is running a bullying horde, she's literally in the fucking chat right now. Why would good Christian Carrie Smith, why on earth would good Christian Carrie Smith want to even involve herself in this at all? That's my question. Hey, Carlin, you're a fat slur. Oh, that's really nice. Oh, that's nice, conservatives. That's nice. Well, keep doing it, AD. I'm enjoying it anyway. Let's listen to the white identitarians. So this is where they're going to defend actual white identitarians. Let's watch.
Carlin, for some reason, decided to start a campaign against the usage of the term anti-white as a descriptor for critical race theory.
Which I
she
have
wrote
proved.
loads of tweets about this, such as this one, which says, if you are screaming about how critical race theory is anti-white, you are not only hurting the fight against it, but you could actually facilitate the start of an actual white power movement. You are hurting more than you're helping. CRT is not about race, it's about power. So I quote tweeted her and said, CRT is anti-white. And she quote tweeted me saying, you idiots are going to create an actual white power movement because you don't understand what you're fighting against. Well, that may very well be, but you know what else I'm creating, Carlin? This ratio.
So let's just like contemplate that for a second. I'm saying you guys are supporting an actual white identitarian movement, and they're like, but we ratioed you on Twitter. We ratioed you on Twitter. That is more important than us supporting an actual white identitarian movement that we ratioed you on Twitter. Oh my God, isn't the ratio the most important thing in the world that has ever happened? That's literally the type of people we're talking about here. That's literally the type of people we're talking about. They are willing to support actual white identitarians because they think the Twitter ratio is more important.
But this isn't helping anyone or anything. This whole thing just seems to get pettier and further away from what's important. Carlin, I'm sorry, but you're using the same argument as these crazy SJWs who scream words or violence and try to cancel everyone who doesn't agree with them. You are right that CRT is about power, but it is also about race because that is the most literal way people understand it.
I have written an entire in-depth researched article on this issue in which every single thing that I said in every single one of these tweets was proven correct. I have talked about it extensively on the channel. And these guys still want to support white identitarians over actually doing the right thing. Okay, well, they're welcome to do that, but I'm not playing in that fucking bathwater.
Recently, and it was confusing to me at first, but now I get what's happening. This is the actual white power movement attaching itself to the anti-CRT movement.
Yes, and I was right.
People in, it's the same language.
I was
now, there's many more examples, but you get the idea. People would just give
I
their
was
opinions
100%
to Carlin, and she would call them white supremacists.
No.
This got the attention of Tree of Logic, a black conservative woman and friend of the channel.
And friend of the channel. And friend of the channel. They just said Tree of Logic, friend of the channel. That's why this shit is happening, because I fucking meta streamed Tree of Logic. I exposed her for the lying grifter that she is. And now she's doing this because this is all these people know how to do. God knows Tree of Logic is not the brightest crayon in the box. Looks like a dude right there, by the way. She wants to make fun of my looks. She looks like a man right there. I am sorry.
He is anti-white. I will block you.
Right.
Yes.
And to me, that's like telling me I can't say the sky is blue, or you know what I mean? Like this isn't like agree to disagree. This is like an impasse, you know what I mean?
It is an impasse,
it's
which is why I blocked you.
I'm going to
You are absolutely
shame
correct.
you.
We are at an impasse. If you are appealing to the anti-white crowd,
you don't
I
have
am going to
freedom
block
to
you.
express yourself
100%.
and freedom of thought, and nor freedom of speech. And we all know,
these people literally think that me blocking them is infringing on their speech. I always thought I was a conservative, but I would never associate with these toddlers. Well, I want to welcome you, Cindy, into the loving open arms of the Libertarian Party, where this bullshit doesn't happen. Let's create some more libertarians today, shall we?
He was saying everybody to disagree with her.
Let's create some more libertarians today. Let's create some more libertarians.
Those were the words that made me come for her. I said, I dare you to call me that.
And I debunked every single thing that she said, and then she chickened out like the overt coward that she is.
But she starts, skating away, like, avoiding me because I challenged her to a debate. And, it went downhill for her real fast.
If you guys want to go back and watch the Tree of Logic Pants on Fire stream that I did, you will see I debunked her on every single thing that bitch said. And she is too much of a coward to even confront it in person. She was invited on my channel. She never came.
Agrees with her as a white supremacist.
I never said that.
Weaselly thing because maybe you made some like sort of broad generalization that that's what she's implying.
Yes. He literally just said that. Maybe we're making a broad generalization that that's what she's implying. That's correct, because that wasn't what I said. And either you two idiots are like not smart enough to realize it, or you're deliberately manipulating. Whichever it is, I've already proven my point to my audience several times over.
Is the actual screenshot of you saying that, you know? And
these people are morons. This is why I don't want to be involved. This is why I don't want to be part of their movement. They're morons. Who would want to be associated with these people?
Right. Yeah.
So like that's not really if somebody's going to come to you and say CRT is anti-white, and you're going to say you're a white supremacist, then there's no meaningful distinction.
You're correct
between that and saying that everybody who says that is a white supremacist. Like I'll show you. Oh, by the way,
look at that burner account.
She also had a tweet about how like white people don't need a special word. It's just call it racism, right? That's her thing. Like just call it racism.
Yes. What does she mean by that? White people don't need a special word.
I think she's saying like you don't have to call it anti-white. You can just call it racism. Like you don't need this special anti-white.
No, there's no race that is more attack than white people, and it seems like you're quick to say anti-black, you're quick to say
I've never said anti-black,
Asian,
I've never said anti-Asian,
anti-Semite.
I have literally never said anti-black or anti-Asian, except if I was explaining why I don't use those terms, or ironically. They're flat lying now. What I've said is that critical race theory is racist. You don't need a special type of racism for white people. Racism is racism, but that's not good enough for these people, because what they're trying to do is appeal to very bad people. They're trying to appeal to the white identitarians. That's what they're trying to do.
Trying to like ratting out people to the ADL and trying to get
and then
ratting out people to the ADL.
Complaining that the ADL tells her they don't care about what.
Well,
because she made a tweet that said
that was true.
I made a video about it. She made a tweet that said that
I would absolutely. I did absolutely tell the ADL about this white well-being movement, and they didn't do shit about it, proving once again that they don't actually care about real racism. All of this right there. Holy shit! They just scrolled through. They just scrolled through tweets that were proof of what I was saying. They literally just scrolled through tweets that were just proof of what I was saying.
Example. So she
holy shit!
This comment on one of her videos.
This woman,
says,
hang on.
Actual white supremacist.
This woman right here in the chat, Lisa K. I figured out, Carlin, 2 years ago when she attacked me for politely disagreeing with her. Lisa K was paying to be a member of my locals community to spy on me. That's how obsessed that bitch is. She figured me out 2 years ago, and then she paid me for 2 years to be a member of my locals community to spy on me until I finally figured out who she was and blocked her.
And believe white well-being is wrong, then you are admitting that you think for non-whites to not be at a detriment, then whites must be demonized and victimized. White positive people don't believe in white supremacy,
the white
dignity
well-being
for
and white
all,
positivity
even
movement.
Western
And Carrie, you're fucking colluding with these people.
What? She found something. She's so retarded, dude.
She called him a white supremacist.
That was well written, very articulate. I actually, well said. I told.
They're literally defending the white well-being, white positivity movement. That is a white identitarian movement. 100%. Those are not good people. They're literally defending it right now. And Carrie, you're colluding with them.
No, I don't. Well, I mean, I hate self-hating whites because they are the reason why our country and a lot of Western societies are going down the toilet right now. These
people are literally shilling for legitimate alt-right identitarians.
Who created these societies? You know what I'm saying? It has been white people. It's to sit up here and deny that, you're just delusional. And if everybody didn't believe that white people create great societies, then how come y'all not in China? How come y'all not in Congo? How come y'all not in South Africa? You're not in these
Anyone who has watched my content around critical race theory understands that A, I was 100% correct with every single thing that I said. B, why these people are shilling for like things that have nothing to do with what critical race theory and the woke bullshit is. And everyone who has watched my content understands exactly what it is. These people do not, because these people are grifters. That is all that they are.
Still whining and crying. So you know.
Oh, talk about still whining and crying, Tree. You have been obsessed with me for over a year.
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I now?
Okay, I'm recording this anyways. I'm not going to use it all. I'll
okay.
Oh, he's not going to use it. Surprise!
Then America would be Chicago. America would be St. Louis. America would be Baltimore, and we don't want that.
Thoroughly upset about the Hitler tweet again. Even though I have explained that 19 times from Sunday, because these conservatives do not actually believe in the First Amendment. They do not actually believe that everyone should be able to practice their spiritual or religious beliefs. They don't believe it at all. So basically, the premise of this video is she made tweets we don't like. She's a bully because she made tweets we don't like. That's it. Dude, you need to settle down. Like, am I wrong to say that this is the entire premise of this video? They give ammo to the left. Exactly. Every single time conservatives do this shit, they give ammo to the left.
And they do tarot readings and stuff like that. She commissioned this painting, this demonic painting, which she's very happy about and proud of. She keeps showing it off. She posts about her tarot cards. And if you look here, you can see that the depiction of the devil on the tarot card looks a lot like the painting that she had commissioned. I mean, look, it is what it is. If you want to worship Satan and praise Hitler, that's your business. This is America. It's a free country. However, not everyone is as open-minded as I am. And so PragerU dropped.
They're literally saying I'm worshiping Satan because I commissioned a painting of an Aries ram and I'm an Aries. All credibility was just lost in 1 second. I'm not sure why these people had credibility to begin with. They're literally saying that I worship Satan because I commissioned a picture of a ram that represents Aries. YouTube sucks. Notifications on and no notifications. Yeah, thank you, Incognito. Okay. For having a different spiritual belief. You really want to look me in the eye and tell me the right doesn't cancel people? You know, the problem that we have in this country right now such a bully? Is not actually left versus right, because the left and the right are the same. Falling down. Oh, now they're like, people don't like her. That's it? That's all that they had about the Hitler tweet was she commissioned a painting of an Aries ram?
Time when Carlin starts to have a series of falling outs.
There was no series of falling outs.
Everybody she ever associated
everyone
with.
Okay, so this is where they're going to start saying that everyone who Carlin has ever been friends with hates her. That's actually provably not true. There is everyone surrounding Carrie Smith, which we've covered repeatedly on this channel. Everyone surrounding Carrie Smith. Adam was supporting the anti-white people. Did a whole video about it. You're welcome to go watch it. This is all they have.
Ended the conversation amicably and everything seemed fine. However, months later, Carlin would do a 7-hour-long live stream where she went over the conversation and just basically was constantly insulting Krigler, calling him a shill, a liar, a grifter, saying that he needed to apologize to her, that he needed to admit that she was right about everything.
I was right about everything. You know what they're not showing you? They're not showing you guys the extensive research that I did proving I was literally right about everything, which we've gone over several times. Again, this is something that we've done on the channel before. They're pulling from my stream. This is from my stream channel for 3.5 hours and got attacked in his chat. That was all he had to do. That was it. I was right in every single thing I said, and he was wrong. I don't think I was. And I sent him evidence that privately. Oh, I'm sure Adam is tweeting about it. I'm sure he is. I'm sure he is. I'm sure that our friend Adam is having many feelings about this right now, and because I've proven him to be a liar and a grifter. Yep. Nuclear, you can take a timeout. You can take a timeout.
Adam responded by inviting Mike Harlow on his show, and they had a nice long conversation.
So basically what we're saying is Carlin proved everything that she said that was the truth, and we don't like that Carlin proved that everything that she said was the truth. So now we're going to lie and take things out of context and not show you anything that actually supports what she said was the truth. That's what we're seeing here. Oh my God.
and he has examples, and it actually shows many different situations where Carlin was caught lying.
Really?
And I defended her on these things because at the time I thought she was being honest. And now I'm finding out she wasn't. I don't like dishonesty. I like authenticity.
I showed Adam absolute proof of every single thing that I said, and he dismissed it and wouldn't even look at it and said that he didn't. Adam wants to call me a fucking liar. I provided proof and receipts for every single thing that I said, and Adam refused to look at it because he is a shill grifter that honestly, like, is not as smart as he thinks he is. And I enjoyed talking to him back in the day, but he's not that smart. And if you have direct evidence of what someone is saying in front of you and you say, I don't care, Carlin, I'm not going to look at it, which I did provide evidence of that. Now he's just whining and complaining. That's all it
is Kieran White.
Oh,
Kieran
fucking God. We're not listening to any of the Queen from England and his accusations. Here is what happened with the Queen from England. He told me he loved me on a private Zoom call. I told him that I wasn't going to leave my husband for him. Then he lost his fucking shit, started making shit up all over the internet, lied about me all over the place, put stuff out of context all over the place to try to make me look like the bad guy because he was nursing a broken heart because he loved me, wouldn't fucking let it go, wouldn't accept that I wasn't going to leave my husband for him, tried to destroy a fucking business that he and I were going to start together over this bullshit, and I wouldn't fucking give in and give him what he wanted, and so he started lying about me all over the fucking internet. He lost his shit, started making stuff up out of nowhere. I'm still unclear on if he actually believes what he's been saying or if he knows he's making stuff up. It doesn't really matter because it has been 8 fucking months since this happened. 8 fucking months since this happened, and he is still obsessed with me. He is still obsessed with me every single day. Kieran, I have moved on with life. You, honey, need to move on with life. I am deeply sorry that you wanted something that I was not willing to give to you, but you need to move on with life. They skipped over showing Adam's chat liars. Of course they're lying. And now they're showing stuff that Kieran has partially doctored. Some of it's real and some of it's fake. And it's just like, why does anyone even care? Why does anyone even care? My own husband cares less about this than every single person that is involved in this bullying horde that is led by Carrie Smith. So no, I'm not going to play the sound because I know, because I was actually involved in this and not any of you were really. I know what's real about this and I know what's not. And I know that Kieran is still spending half of his days tweeting about me to this day because he cannot move on with his life. He is incapable of moving on with his life. Why people are even interested about this is like beyond. So far, we have covered that I got kicked out of a hotel, which was deeply traumatic for me, and that apparently makes me a bully. I sent tweets that you don't like, which apparently makes me a bully. I left the Republicans to join the Libertarians, which makes me a bully. I fought back against white identitarians, which makes me a bully. I had a relationship go south with someone I was trying to start a business with when he fell in love with me and then got pissed off that I wouldn't leave my husband for him. And that makes me a bully. You're literally revealing like private communications between people. And you think that that makes you the good guy. I am particularly impressed with how Kieran, who was the person that helped research the white identitarians, has now literally teamed up and supported the white identitarians. I am particularly impressed that Kieran White, who less than a year ago understood that the white identitarians and the white positivity movement and the white well-being movement were bad, he understood that a year ago. He was the one that helped with the research. We did that together.
I am particularly entertained with the fact that he has gone from knowing that these are bad people and people you don't want to be involved with to literally colluding with these people. All because he fell in love with me and I told him I weren't leaving my husband for him. That's what happened. And then he had a psychological snap. And he started making shit up and acting like a holy terror all over the fucking internet. But Kieran, like, really, dude, congratulations. You have now come full circle. You have come completely full circle in that you are now supporting the people that you claim to be against less than a year ago. Less than a year ago.
Thing though I wanted to show you before we move on from this part of the story. I think James Lindsay is in love with me or something.
Oh, this was a joke. Okay, Kieran and I used to joke about James Lindsay like all the fucking time, and now they've made it out to be like I was like going after James. Here's what this is. Kieran and I used to make jokes about like sex with like different types of people. James Lindsay was one of the names. It really had nothing to do with James Lindsay. It was more just like a joke. It was like banter. It was private banter that was occurring over Zoom calls, and then we would follow up with DMs and joke in there too. And I said, oh, I think he's in love with me, ha 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 ha. Like, they're making it seem like I was going after James Lindsay to try to break up his marriage. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. It was a joke. And they're making out to seem like it's something it's not, because this is all these people have. This is literally all they have. Oh, Carlin makes jokes about James Lindsay. Who the fuck cares? Who the fuck cares? My God. We're gonna let them play this out. You guys can go watch if you want. I don't really care. Yeah, it was like Mary Bang Kill. That's exactly what it was. It was like fucking Mary Bang Kill. It was a joke. It was a fucking joke. Oh my God, these people are obsessed. They are obsessed. Conservatives are hypocrites. Conservatives are absolute fucking hypocrites. Oh, let's talk about head rent free. Yes, Carrie, if you ever see this video, you better not come to Porkfest because I will kick the ever-loving fuck out of you, and you better believe it. To Carrie Smith. And then there was a pause, and I said I wouldn't really do that, but that felt really good to say. They took that out of context as well. I paused for like 2 seconds, and then I said, that's from my locals too. Then I said, I wouldn't really do that, but that felt really good to say. And what did they do? Carrie Smith and her band of bullies clipped that video out of context and sent it to locals to try to get me canceled. This is all coming from Carrie Smith. This is all coming from Carrie Smith because Carrie Smith is also obsessed with me. They are all fucking obsessed with me. They can't move on with fucking life. Can't move on with life. Carrie Smith could have just walked the fuck away. Yeah, she could have. Look at this.
Having watched hours and hours of Carlin's streams over the last couple weeks, she seems to blame Carrie personally for almost everything that's gone wrong in her life over the last couple of years.
Well, no, that's not true. I am glad that he has admitted that he is obsessed with me and watches hours and 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 hours.
And a podcaster.
How much do you want to bet that Carrie helped him with this? How much do you want to bet? Carrie, you are literally doing the thing I said you did and colluding with really bad people that are colluding with white fucking... You're literally doing fucking proof that you are colluding with the bad people that I said you were colluding with. Are you so deranged about me that you do not understand that this is literal proof of everything that I have fucking been saying about you? My God, these people are insane.
And after Carlin blew up, she had Carrie come on her channel for a couple interviews. Those interviews got lots of views on Carlin's channel. So they were friendly associates. But then as far as I can tell, Carrie picked up on some aspects of Carlin's personality that she didn't like. She saw the red flags, such as what
Carrie went insane and is convinced that I am her abusive fucking mother. My God. These people are nuts.
Saw that she had been blocked on Twitter. She took this as a very serious betrayal. Also, Carlin is really angry that Carrie follows this parody account, which I guess we should take a quick minute to talk about.
Yeah.
Somebody on Twitter has an account dedicated to making fun of Carlin's tweets, and Carlin really, really hates this account.
This account has literally doxed my house. This account has doxed my friends. This account has harassed people for over a year and a half. This account posted posted pictures of my house publicly on the internet that were not publicly available before this account fucking posted them. So yeah, I'm pretty pissed at anyone who claims to be anti-woke, supporting people getting doxed.
A nightmare these people have been in my life. Vosh's minions, the people that are running this goddamn account, are directly...
I think that the account was started by Vosh's minions. I don't think it's currently being run today by Vosh's minions. But they absolutely were involved in it at some point. And I think that since Carrie knows exactly who has taken it over. Oh my God. If you guys want to listen to me cry, like whatever. I've cried many times on the channel before. We can do that. But like, again, this is all coming from Carrie Smith's horde. Carrie, you need to fucking move on with life. Move on with life. By the way, do people know that that Carter and Unsafe Space threatened Carrie with a defamation lawsuit because she was starting to do the same things to them that she did to me? It's still on their site. If you go to unsafespace.com/defamation, you're going to hear all about the nice, good Christian that Carrie Smith is. Oh, Deb's in here! Holy shit! Holy shit! Deb filming right there. Deb filming right there. Same people. Same fucking people. Kieran's going to show up at any moment. What is she saying? Oh, closed captions. Oh my God. And look at this, 550 people watching right now. Great. Awesome.
In a PragerU video, I cannot adequately emphasize it. Okay? Now, things are fine now, but they really weren't for a while. And so...
I don't even remember this, to be honest. So, whatever. So, who is involved in this? The same old people. Carrie Smith, Mike Harlow, Deb Philman, fucking the Queen from England, who is Kieran. Because he, doesn't really actually deserve a real name because he's a walking piece of human garbage. But. Oh, you know what this is?
Unsafe Space.
You know what this is?
Following this goddamn stalker account. Why? There is absolutely no reason for it other than she's really enjoying watching me get bullied and harassed. And for someone that's stuck up for so many people getting bullied and harassed in the knitting community that understands the impact of bullying and online mobbing, like, you know what? Listen, when I rail on this shit,
so basically what I'm talking about here is so Carrie and her minions, of course, follow and I think now control that stalker account. And what I was saying, and this was probably what was this? Probably like over a year ago. So what I was saying is, why are people who claim to be... Oh, Alex! Holy shit, Alex, you're in it too. Any text message I sent him. Don't tell me he can't be bullied. I would bully the ever-loving shit out of John Doyle if he ever dared have a one-on-one conversation with me. That's true.
All right, sorry. I know that was a lot.
That was true. That was true. I absolutely would bully the shit out of John Doyle. That's 100% true.
Carrie Smith followed the parody account, and that is like rape to Carlin. Carrie Smith basically...
No, that's actually actually not what I was saying. See, these people like to take things again out of context and twist them in the worst possible way that they can. What I was saying is that if you are claiming to be against cancel culture, if you are claiming to be against woke fucking insanity, then why are you following woke leftists? Then why are you participating in an account that tries to dox people, that harasses people, that tries to overtly cancel people? Why are you doing those things if you're not an SJW? That's actually the point that I was making. But of course, it's going to be lost on these people because they're absolute raging morons.
Block it. They'd use the block button, and they'd also understand that the reason the block button is there so that you don't have to think about those people anymore. You just go on with your life. Carlin likes to block people and then make burner accounts to go check on the people that she blocked.
Well, no, I make the burner accounts because those people continue to be obsessed with me and tweet bullshit about me all of the fucking time. The only reason the burner accounts exist are to monitor the insanity that these people are tweeting about me, because as it turns out, public things that you put on Twitter are public. Oh my God. Because I have 8,000 burner accounts. I will make 8,000 more if it means protecting myself and my family, you fucking psychopaths. Yes. Yes. Wait, so I'm not allowed to look at... I wasn't fired from Walkaway. I left Walkaway. I was not fired from Walkaway. I left Walkaway. I don't know how this is hard to understand. Walkaway was literally planning stuff for me that had nothing to do with that first event. I know that for an absolute fact. And I told them to go fuck themselves because I wouldn't want to be involved in any organization that was going to overtly disrespect me like that. Also, I think they're just grifting on conservatives now. So, let's see. Oh, no, they're absolute LARPers. Yeah, I told Brandon to go and shove it. I did. I was used by conservative media. I was used by Walkaway. Do you know what they're not showing there? They're not showing where I literally said, I told Brandon to go fuck himself. That's what they're not showing. That most people in this game don't give two shits about doing the right thing. They don't even care about the goal. That's true. And that is why they lose over and 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 over again. That is all true. All true. Let's even just play this out. Brandon comes back. Carlin, like, you know what? You were right. I fucked up. I'm sorry. Not good enough. Sorry. Wait. Not good enough. Wait. Again. So Brandon would have to come back to me, which means that I was the one that told him to go fucketh himself. And I said if he came back to me, I would say not good enough. That's not an indication that I was fired. That's an indication that I left. Because I want people leaving the Democratic Party. But I no longer believe that Walkaway cares about people leaving the Democratic Party. True. Because if they did care about people leaving the Democratic Party, they probably wouldn't cut out the person who literally wrote the fucking book about fighting back against the woke left. Do you guys know what I charge for a speech? I charge my speeches. Notice they cut a lot of stuff out there, just saying. Start at like $8,000.
You gotta love the logic of it was a grift the whole time, but in order for...
Oh, you know what? You know what they cut out there? I charge $8,000 for a speech. The follow-up to that was I got paid like $250 per speech for Walkaway. The $8,000 for a speech is for my consulting practice. That wasn't for Walkaway, which was the very next line in that video, which they cut to try to make it seem like it was just a giant grift that I was making. I fucking wish I was making $8,000 a speech from Walkaway. That didn't happen. I was making $250 a speech from Walkaway. My God, these people are such fucking grifters.
Sabotaging her, bullying her, and harassing her.
Yeah.
Won't you please tell me?
Quitting Twitter? Have I quit Twitter? I took a break on Twitter for like a day. So now they're celebrating that Carrie Smith and her horde drove me to a fucking nervous breakdown. That's really great. I know that good Christians celebrate that stuff all the time. All right. Do people see what this is? I'm honestly curious. Is anyone in the chat compelled? I know we haven't really been listening to a lot of sound on this video because I don't like watching myself, but like, I'm curious in the chat, is this convincing to anyone that I'm a bully? Because apparently the evidence is I've been harassed and doxxed by white identitarians, who these people support, and that makes me a bully. I've been harassed and doxxed, and my friends have been harassed and doxxed by Carrie Smith and her bullying horde, and so that makes me a bully. I'm a Satanist because I commissioned a painting of an Aries ram, and that makes me a bully. Is anyone actually convinced by this? This is like mind-boggling to me how bad these people are. Does anyone have any questions about why I broke up with conservatives over a year ago? Does anyone have any questions about why I do not want to associate with these people at all? We've all seen this video, so I'm not going to play this. I was crying. It was true. It was true. I was crying. These people are literally the only thing that they have, the only connection they have between them is that they hate me. That's it. That is their connection. Yeah. People making fun of a woman crying. Oh, now they're going to talk about, she's losing all these subscribers. Yes, I lose subscribers all the time. I don't really care. People making fun of a woman crying, it says a lot. Even if you don't believe Carlin, you can see what they're all about. Kira says, no, you did the right thing. They are sadly unhinged, just like the left. That's true. You've explained every allegation a dozen times by now. That's true. We basically have the same hairstyle, a side mohawk. It's not a leftist hairstyle. It's punk rock. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. A lot of libertarians have this hairstyle too. Oh, now they make fun of the libertarians. I joined the libertarians in April of 2021. Over a year.
New Hampshire as the official libertarian candidate. That's real. That's not a joke.
That's
real, by the way.
That is real. I'm the official nominee for governor.
I was actually in real life nominated and endorsed by the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire to be the candidate for governor.
I am their candidate for governor.
And we're crying on the internet aside.
And I had a serious debate about that last week.
Focus some more time on doing that, because what started as something that was kind of just to give people another option on the ballot, because that's why I accepted the nomination. It was just to give people another option on the ballot. It's actually turned into a necessity of me needing to start doing real things for it.
True.
So I am going to be focusing more energy and attention on that. I'm not giving that up.
True.
The absolute state of the Libertarian Party. What are they thinking? A woman who goes on the internet to cry about being bullied and begging for donations, and saying
begging for donations,
Twitter because she can't
begging for donations. You're the ones that have had an ad in this video. I didn't have an ad in this video. You guys are the ones that have had an ad in this video.
In charge of a state. It's not somebody who should have a high profile in your party. Full stop. I wouldn't trust this woman to run a daycare after the things I've seen, but.
Well, you also trust white identitarians, don't you? Oh, it's buffering. You also trust white identitarians, so I'm not sure why, like, you are really
the Lulberts are running her for governor. Not to mention the fact that she's been cozying up to.
I've been cozying up to what? Buffer. Yes, I would love for these people are saying I'm never moving to
the
New Hampshire.
Libertarians for what, like 6 months, maybe max?
Over a
so
year.
You got a woman who was a Democrat for 20 years, abandoned the Democrats, stabbed them in the back, made a huge deal out of it,
Mike
a lot
Harlow's
of noise,
there.
got embraced
Mike
by the
Harlow's
conservatives, turned into one of the poster girls.
There he is. Mike Harlow's in the stream like a grifter. It's so predictable.
For why it's good to leave the Democrats. Gained hundreds of thousands of followers on the internet.
Too bad their video's buffering so badly. What the hell's going on there? Listen, I would love it if none of these people ever moved to New Hampshire. That'd be great. Please move to Texas. Please go move to Texas. Don't ever come to New Hampshire. Please stay the fuck away. I got involved with the Libertarian Party in April. I started talking to them in like February of 2021 or March of 2021. I joined not long after that. I got involved on their committees, and they saw fit to nominate me for governor. And Carrie Smith and her band of cronies have been crying ever since. They have been crying ever since. They could not wrap their heads around the fact that I fit in well with the Libertarians. The Libertarians like what I have to say. The Libertarians really like what I'm doing around the schools. And they saw fit to nominate me for governor, and I accepted the nomination because I thought it would be rude not to. And as it turns out, I actually have like positive name recognition and positive like name ID in New Hampshire. I don't really know why that is, but it's true. And they're so upset about it. Carrie Smith and her band of cronies have been crying about me getting nominated for governor ever since it happened in January.
Internet because of the conservatives promoting her, only to turn around and stab the conservatives in the back after just a couple of years, say that they shouldn't be in charge, that she's going to make it her mission for them to lose. And the Lulberts are like, this is our girl. Let's embrace her. Let's put her in charge.
Yes. In fact, when I get my soapbox idol speech at PorkFest, I gave a speech at PorkFest called "Let's Make Republicans Lose." I had that crowd wrapped around my finger. They loved it.
To win and shouldn't be trusted with power.
Yes.
All it takes is a few percentage of the.
Yes.
She got that type of power.
Make Republicans lose.
This bitch is crazy.
Yeah, well, you know, she's also like, she's running for governor of New Hampshire.
Republicans
I don't know if you heard that.
No, I don't know any of this.
Ooh.
So she's joined the Libertarian Party, and she's kind of working her way up
over
the
a year
ranks
ago.
And I guess I don't know too much about it, but I guess like all the Libertarians are moving to New Hampshire, and they're trying to take.
They don't know
over
anything
the
about it.
state
Exactly. You don't know anything
but
about it.
it's not enough of them to. It's not enough of them
Tree
to take over the
about,
state.
Oh,
I mean, she's not going to get elected governor.
Well, I wasn't even gonna. You know, I tend to ignore the ramblings of a retard. You know what I'm saying? That's how I ignore it automatically, because you see, I didn't say she's not going to win, because that was just like basically a retarded crackhead, just talking about it and run.
This is the conservative right here. These are
seriously,
this is the pinnacle of conservatism.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
This is the pinnacle of conservatism
but there
right
are
here.
Libertarians who think that if they group
I have my
together
very
in
own
one particular state because they
Faketarians.
want to get a third party, and don't get me wrong, I do believe we should have a third party.
They don't know anything about what's going on.
Now I'm getting to the point where I can't tell the difference between the conservatives and the Democrats, demon rats. And so now we got a lot of rhinos. They just passed a gun control bill. They made the bill into a law today. I got to go through that. So I can't trust them now. And so it's like they seem to be the same. But
please stay away.
That's the reason why I comment on the Libertarians, because they believe that they have the power to change, and they don't. They just, you got to get the centrists to, not just Libertarians, but you got to get the centrists to agree to a third party.
You're treating them like the joke they are. Thank you, Kai. I appreciate that.
It's like, who really are the Libertarians? When it's one thing to say I don't like Republicans, I don't like Democrats, but are you going to elect people who are a bunch of basically sex perverts once you start to ask them what they actually believe in? You know,
right.
Thank you.
We'd like to feel you're acceptable.
Thank you for showing who you really are, and that you have absolutely no idea what's going on with the Libertarian Party or New Hampshire. Thank you for that.
Which is that physiognomy don't miss.
Looks like a Fed. Oof. Also, doesn't exactly look like the brightest bulb in the socket, but that's the extent of my physiognomy.
That's projection right there. I'm not on Gavin. Gavin's fine. But...
In the beginning, physiognomy. Holy shit, I'm stupid.
Yeah,
I think conservatives should do a better job of gatekeeping. You know, people like to talk about gatekeeping as this inherently negative thing, this just a stigmatized thing that you're not supposed to do. But here is a perfect example of what happens when you don't gatekeep and you promote people just because they're saying the right thing. They're saying the things you want to hear. They turn around and stab you in the back, make you look
See,
like
these
a
people,
laughingstock.
these people really think I'm beholden to them. They really think. Oh, is this it? Oh, this is Carrie's. This is Carrie's little minion too. This guy runs Carrie's locals because Carrie can't. Unlike me, Carrie can't actually be bothered to run her own locals. She has other people run it for her. That guy runs Carrie's locals. All right. It looks like they're playing another ad. They're grifting again. So it seems as though the case they have that I'm a bully is that I wouldn't be beholden to them forever. Actually, let me do this. I'm going to put, do you guys want to do call-ins? Does anyone want to do call-ins? I'm going to put the link in my chat to do call-ins. If you want to come on the stream and have a conversation with me, there's the link. You do not need to come on camera. You don't need to come onto camera, but you do need to have a microphone. Call in if you would like to come in on the channel and talk about what we just saw. But like, here's the thing. It's like the biggest case that these people have against me is that I said things on Twitter that they don't like. That's honestly, this is like the of conservatives right here. They're like, you are a bully if you say things on Twitter that we don't like, if you use a tone that we don't like. Well, sorry? I don't know, man. I don't know. Well, we'll see if anyone wants to come and do call-ins. I would like to hear, I would love to hear your thoughts about the video. I would love to hear your thoughts about how, like, even if you watch that video and you are convinced, come and have a conversation with me, man. Let's act like adults and try to actually behave like, you know, normal people. Oh, they're still going. Oh, God, they're still going. Hang on. Shit, they're still going. Fuck. I ended too soon. Oh, this is the A Christian call-in. This is where that crazy bitch called in. Holy shit. We're not playing that. This is where that crazy bitch called in and cackled.
Telling you that.
Well, no, some people in my chat were telling me that. I saw more people in my chat telling me that Carrie's full of shit. So I'm allowed to have my eye.
This isn't about Carrie, Carlin. This is about Christianity.
A Christian, I just removed you from the channel. I will invite you back to speak, but you are not going to raise your voice and you are not going to yell at me. And then she cackled. This is about being respectful. Then she fucking cackled. You can disagree on my fucking screen. You will not yell at me and you will not raise your voice on my stream. Now, A Christian, Incognito, you're back on the stream. Do not raise your voice to me again, but I will invite you to say what you want to say in a respectful
thank you so much, man. Thank you so much.
It is my channel.
Oh,
yes, it is. It is Christian. It is Christian, my channel.
I'm saying this isn't about Carrie. This is about Christianity. You said she belonged to a cult.
She does belong to a cult. She does belong to a cult. Yes, I'm convinced that Carrie Smith belongs to a cult.
Very general Christian beliefs.
I am convinced that Carrie Smith does indeed belong to a cult. That you kick sinners out for living in sin. I don't think that most Christians do believe that. True. We disagree.
If you revel in sin and you are unapologetic about it,
and she's like,
then
no,
why
you
would you belong in a Christian church?
Well, I have Christians in the chat right now telling me that is a very unchristian-like thing to do, is to kick sinners out of the church when you disagree with their behavior. So I think that that's really judgmental. And I would never want to be associated with anyone who says, you will behave like me or we will kick you out. Yes.
Yes, but Carlin, this isn't about...
What am I saying that's incorrect?
Locals or your religion.
It actually is. You're on my channel, so it is.
It's about Christianity, which is what you were judging.
Well, no, this is about my channel and my opinion on my channel, and I will judge whatever I like on my channel.
You say my a lot and I a lot.
Yes, it's my channel. You right now, A Christian, are on my channel.
I'm aware.
You are here out of my grace. She's also in Carrie's bullying board. I know exactly. She's poetry painter on Twitter. I know exactly who this is. To you when you're being rude and condescending, am I?
I'm not being rude and condescending. I'm trying to tell you that Carrie expressed very general, well understood Christian beliefs.
Well, not understood by all Christians, because I see Christians in the chat disagreeing with her.
From stoning, but he also said, "Go and sin no more."
Jesus also damned a fig tree. Have you ever eaten a fig Newton in your life?
I don't understand.
I'm sorry, that was fucking hilarious. I'm sorry, that was fucking hilarious.
In the Bible, have you ever eaten fig Newtons?
Really, actually, I haven't, but.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sure. Do you have anything else to say?
I'm just saying, I think that you ask for acceptance for your religion, which excuses basically any behavior at all.
Any behavior at all. There is no right and wrong. There is no good and bad. We are all loved by God unconditionally. Any behavior.
Right. Even people who do a Holocaust, right? You can justify any kind of behavior.
Absolutely.
In religion.
Which is what you're
Isaac, this is what I have to deal with every day. Literally, that's what I have to deal with every day.
You cannot explain.
You cannot explain.
You can't do
bad things happen to good people
by God.
Your belief system can be explained in my belief system, not in yours.
I
can feel Christ's love washing off of you right now.
By God. You can't make a person or kill a person and be loved by God.
Oh my God, the love is so powerful.
Dude,
the
truth.
Christ love is so powerful
Isaac.
right now.
Truth, Isaac.
I can feel it wafting off of you and just consuming.
Well, if you want to live in a world of rapists and Holocausters and liars and people like that, and excuse any behavior and say it's all fine and it doesn't matter.
Why don't you think God loves everyone? Why do you think that God is a spiteful little child that doesn't love?
I don't think God is a spiteful child. I think God's a righteous father.
You do.
I think that God is a righteous
You're gonna hear the cackle. We're gonna get through the cackle. The cackle. I want the cackle.
I think God's love is so much more powerful than your love could ever be, Christian. I think that God loves us all.
Mike's going to be releasing a video next week.
But you use that to excuse any
That's why they say I'm a bully. They're like, Carlin thinks God loves everyone. She's a bully.
Your heart.
Anyway,
you don't rape, and you don't hate, and you don't
right off, bitch. I'm not changing anything. You are the worst example of a Christian that I have ever had on this channel.
Oh, really? I'm honored.
You are a horrible Christian. I can't feel one single ounce of love wafting off of you. All I get is hate and fear and anger and scorn and bitterness with your sad, pathetic life. But you know what? Even though you are a horrible Christian, God still loves you anyway.
Cackle! Listen to that fucking cackle.
God still loves you anyway. And you will still go to heaven, even though you are a horrible, horrible person.
The cackle, man.
Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. No, you're so wrong.
Oh, I'm not wrong, bitch.
To change your heart.
In fact, God loves me, even if I call you a spiteful, angry, bitter bitch right now who's not brave enough to come on camera, probably because you're afraid of your own self.
You just tried to kick me off your show, and now you're calling me a bitch. So
it's my show.
Yourself, Carly.
Oh, what the? Oh, look at that nice Christian telling me to go fuck myself. I love it when good Christians show their true Christianity and that true Christ love, don't you? I know that I'm capable of being the best.
Oh, God, it's so true. I guess I have a little bit more. But, guys, we are going to do call-ins. I've got a couple people waiting in the queue. We've got Incognito and Patrice. I see you right now. Guys, if you want to come on the channel and have a conversation about whatever it is that we just watched, the call-in number is pinned to the top of the chat. I don't know how long we're going to do call-ins today. I wasn't even planning on streaming today. But whatever. Let me see. It looks like they got a little bit more of this stream. How much time did these people spend watching me? How many hours of their lives did they spend watching me? That's the question I have. All right, but I am going to ping this off right now. I'm going to keep it up on the side here, and I'm going to bring Incognito onto the channel, and Patrice, you're next. Incognito, welcome to the stream.
Hey, what's going on, Miss K?
Hey, how are you?
Oh, not so much. Yeah, I was backing out because for some reason StreamYard's kicked off my headphones. But
oh no!
A good thing I'm not driving at the moment.
Good.
So I can turn off my truck. So yeah, that's interesting. Everything that's going on with that stream. You know, I put down. I guess no one didn't see it, but if anyone did basic research, they would prove what everything they just said was a lie.
I just want to make a note, Incognito, the video has just ended. So we did make it to the end. Yeah, you said that, like, so you claim, and I won't put words on your mouth, you said that everything they said was a lie. Why do you say that?
Because if they just did any basic research, they would have seen that. Just watching it. Okay. Okay, hey, thanks.
He's in his truck. I know where he is. He's in his truck.
Yeah, sorry about that. Another driver was just telling me something. So, but no, I mean, if anyone just did any basic research, just watch your videos, they would have seen it. It's like, oh, well, that was taken out of context. That was taken out of context. Like you said, you're like, yeah, I charged $8,000 for, give another couple seconds, for your business.
Yeah.
And then you went on to say how much you did. So it's just intellectual dishonesty.
Well, it's complete, and I'm really glad you brought up that point, because it's complete intellectual dishonesty. I did not make $8,000 a speech from Walkaway. I made $250 a speech from Walkaway. And so it was like, that was the comparison that I was making, was that I had a consulting business that I can make a metric boat ton of money on, that is an actual, like, if I wanted to be a grifter, that is what I would actually be spending my time doing. Instead, I spent every weekend for months traveling around the country getting paid $250 a speech, and they have the gall to make an hour-plus long video calling me a grifter.
I know, it's just, if you really, really wanted the grift, you would just do it and make so much money.
I would.
You know, but like you've always said, you're losing money or you're barely breaking even, and it's just like, is it really worth all the headache just to say, oh, I'm standing against conservatives, or I'm standing against the woke fucking left, you know, where the hell they call themselves these days?
Well, I mean, to be really clear, because here's what I know is going to happen. They're going to take what you just said out of context, and they're going to be like, oh, Carlin is flat broke. That's not true either. Like, I'm doing just fine. But the fact of the matter is that organizational consulting and training is extremely lucrative, and I could be making much more money if I was spending most of my time doing that. I still do that, so the lights are going to be on for another day. But I every day that I spend money on the actively unwoke stuff, or like, you know, helping people to, like, helping parents groups and things like that, I lose money. So, you know, they can call it a grift as much as they want, but I could be in a much better place if I wasn't doing any of this.
Oh yeah, definitely, totally. And I don't know who said it, and I think I might have heard it on Tim Pool when they're talking about people not doing their basic research. It's stuff like what they're just talking about. If they're targeting people who won't even do the basic research just to go and verify the info.
Well, that is a really good point that you just made, Incognito, which is that's exactly who they're targeting. They're targeting the lowest bottom of the barrel type people who don't bother to go do any of the research on their own. Like, they actually did. So Carrie actually specifically reached out to libertarians that I know in person in New Hampshire doing this crap, like sending crap like this out of context to them. They were doing it through private message. And every single time the libertarians, because they're autistic, they would go and research where the clips actually came from, and they would see they're taken out of context, and they would see they're hyperbolic,
definitely.
and they would go back to Carrie and be like, what are you doing? This is not what she was saying. And they would basically call her out on it, and she would just keep doing it anyway, because they rely on the lowest common denominator.
Oh, exactly. Yep. And that's what I like about those. Well, except for the Fakatarians and Nick, he can go suck a big fat one Starwalk. They would take you out of context and all that.
Did you know?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, did you know? So that last clip with a Christian, the cackling, like, horrible Christian, Nick Sarwalk has actually retweeted her. She's Poetry Painter on Twitter. Nick Sarwalk has literally retweeted her. So the Fakertarians and the Loser Brigade in the Libertarian Party are much more aligned with the losers in the conservative movement than they ever dared dream.
Yeah, you know, it's quite funny when the A Christians sound like the Wicked Witch of the East. You know, so. But I will say, for everybody here who's watching, you want to hear some honesty? You may not like it. You may do. But check out Ms. Carlin at kb.locals.com for less than a cup of coffee a month, $5. You can reach out and meet some really nice people. It's better than therapy, in my opinion.
I think so too. I think so too.
So, but with that, Ms. Carlin, I have to get back to work. So we'll bring on the next one. And I hope all those people who, your haters, come on, talk.
Yeah. Call in, haters. Call in. Well, thank you, Incognito. We'll talk soon. I appreciate that.
Bye-bye, man.
All right. Well, we'll remove him. Guys, if you would like to call into the channel, and I especially want to welcome people like Nick here on the channel, who is convinced that I'm a Satanist because I commissioned a picture of an Aries ram. And I do astrology on my channel, and I do tarot cards on my channel, which apparently makes me a Satanist. Like, you guys know that conservatives like tarot cards too, right? You guys know that conservatives read astrology too. They do. But haters, call in. The number is at the top of the chat. You don't have to come on video. You do have to have your microphone so I can actually hear what you're saying. But Nick, you are welcome to call in and be a little less of a coward and have a conversation with me, yourself. And right now we're going to go to Patrice. Patrice, welcome to the stream.
Hey.
Hey, Patrice.
Sorry, I know I haven't been around too much. I've got some life stuff going on right now.
Oh, no worries. We've been missing you, and I hope everything is okay.
It's okay. It's just, it's a lot. But I wanted to say that as someone who has been here through most of this, I can vouch for you. And I mean, nobody's perfect. And I know that sometimes people don't like the fighting and such, but you're not a liar. You're not lying about all this stuff, and people can go and find out for themselves. They can watch it. They can watch the clips unedited and find out if they want to. And if you don't want to, that's on you.
I kind of feel the same way about it. I have been extremely transparent. I have addressed all of these things on multiple occasions. I've given people chances to call into the show and talk to me. I've given people a chance to ask questions. And if they want to refuse to do it because they're acting like a little woke leftist cancel mob, it's really not my problem.
I hope that they really start navigating their ships in a good direction that helps everyone instead of just tears down. It's just really not that productive. And we need everybody who can help fight bad stuff going on that we can get. So this, I mean, it's like if they're fighting against you and what you're doing, which is good, then they're fighting for the woke people who are trying to ruin it all.
Well, and that's exactly it. It's like, and I think there are more than one person in like the anti-woke space that's going through stuff like this. The same people that are responsible for at least parts of this video, they're attacking Corey DeAngelis right now. They've attacked Chris Rufo before. This is not the first time this shit has happened. It probably won't be the last. And it's like, you know, I just don't know how logical people can look at this situation and not see very clearly what's going on. The only way you can't see is if you don't want to see. And, you know, I can't force anyone to go back and watch things in context, you know, because they've been blatantly lied to and stuff like this.
Right. Well, hopefully they get their shit together. I don't know. Hopefully they can focus on things that really matter. But unfortunately, I guess it looks like they're here for money. They're here for likes or clicks or whatever. They don't really have a good direction to do anything that's going to actually help.
That's exactly right, Patrice. Exactly right. Anything else for today?
Nope, that's it. I got to get back to work, but
well,
good
it was
talking to you.
It was good to talk to you, and I hope things are okay and hope to see you again soon.
Thanks. All right, we'll talk to you later.
You're welcome. Well, we've got one person in the stream for call-ins right now. That's going to be Just Asking. I'll bring you up in a second. Cyrus Cherry says astrology was a big part of Christianity at one. I'm not sure what's beyond that, Cyrus, but yeah, I mean, this is not anything that's new, to be honest. Now, Annabelle here says, sorry, but some of the things LP showed were not taken out of context. You said weird things. Annabelle, I invite you to find your balls and to click the link at the top of the chat and to come have a conversation with me. Because, yes, pretty much everything in that video was absolutely, unequivocally out of context. So if you want to actually have a conversation, you are welcome to. If you just want to troll my chat, I'll let you do it a little. Ooh! I Hypocrite is here. I Hypocrite is here. I Hypocrite is here. He's going to come up soon. Oh, I see him in my waiting room right now. But you're gonna have to wait, I Hypocrite, appropriately named, because right now we're gonna go to Just Asking. Welcome to the channel.
Hello. How are you?
It's good to finally talk to you.
Yes, we've never actually talked.
We've definitely never talked. We've never talked via DM. We've never, you know, I have no idea who you are.
Yo, this is actually going to be the first time you've actually talked to me. So
I know, but well, that is actually true. Of course, they're not going to believe that, but that is actually the truth. Is we have not actually talked in person before.
But I have seen what's been going on for the past couple of years. So, and I have been one of the people that will kind of mirror their behavior back to them, and they cry so much about it. So, and I Hypocrite, I watched the video. A lot of it is out of context because, you know, they do it with Trump is they'll clip out, oh, he said, you know, this little bit, you know, grab women by the pussy, and now we're going to exaggerate it to this. Well, now he's going around grabbing women. Sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but
you can say it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You know, it's exactly the same behavior. They're doing the same things they're on Twitter crying about. You know, even Carrie Smith, she couldn't help to have to like show up in there because, you know, even though she wants nothing to do with you, anything to do with you, she's involved with. And it's weird because me just going online and calling it out, they want to call me obsessive, but I only do it like maybe every once in a blue moon, like just pop up and just be like, hey, stop being a hypocrite, stop lying, stop going online bullying people, and then going on your Twitter and acting like you're not a bully. And it's ridiculous. I don't like people like this. I don't get online. I don't have social media. I don't get along with people that do this kind of stuff. I don't think we've agreed on everything. I know I've watched quite a bit.
Oh no, we got into a little tiff for about 24 hours where I blocked you, and then we made up.
But go and cry, oh, she blocked me because I agreed with this and whatever. Like, people do that, but if you act like them blocking you is a big deal, then they think it's cool. Oh, I block people. I block people I don't like. I block people that disagree with me. I block people that call me out on my behaviors. But if Carlin does it, it's bad behavior. You're unhinged. You're deranged. Calling you names like Ham Beast and stuff like that is just, it's ridiculous and it's wrong. Because if they're saying that kind of stuff about you just because they don't like you, anyone that's their friend that's maybe overweight a little bit or whatever, they're definitely calling them the same thing behind their back.
Oh, yeah.
Behavior is always there, no matter if they hate you or not. They're going to act that way, and they don't like it when it's done back to them. And I've tried to call it out for you, and I've tried to, you know, stay in my little corner of it. But I've also been doxxed. See, Mike Harlow went on Google and Googled a photo of me and reposted it on his Twitter with my full name.
Mm-hmm.
He's and if I call him out on it and ask him to take it down, I'm just a stalker. I've created another account, one, to ask him to take it down, but two, it's just stalking. So
he has done this to you on several occasions. Mike Harlow has posted multiple threads about you, calling you a stalker, when in fact he is the one that started this whole bullshit.
Yep. He went online lying that I was a druggie, which I don't know if you can see me, but I'm definitely not a druggie. I'm in college, but I'm just, you know, obsessed with him. So anytime I have called him out, I've wasted all my time on that. It's just crazy how people can claim they know who you are, or they can defame you online on Twitter and then act like you getting upset about it is you being a bad person. And it's borderline personality disorder. It's all the narcissism they want to keep projecting out on everyone else around them. And I have to learn not to get involved too much, but it is definitely, you can't look away from it. It's like a car wreck. You know, you have to be like, what is going on over here for these people to be constantly talking about you?
Yeah. And I mean, and I did try to look away for a long time. I mean, I looked away when Carrie posted public text, like posted on Twitter text messages between me and her. Like, I looked away then. I looked away when Carrie posted a massive Twitter thread talking like blatantly spewing garbage and nonsense about me. I looked away when Mike Harlow posted that video about me that was just stuff taken out of context and private messages, and basically like the moral of that video was, I don't like Carlin's tone. I looked away then. I looked away when Carrie Smith wrote an essay about me, about how I was her abusive mother. I looked away through all of that up until the point where they started doxing my friends and posting pictures of my house on the internet. And then I stopped fucking looking away. And they were reaching out to me. And I know you know this, but I'll say this for people watching. Here is the list of things that the horde that has put together this video have put me through. They have doxed my friends who are private people. They have tried to destroy the careers of my friends who are private people to try to get them to stop being friends with me and to stop supporting me. They have private messaged multiple dozens of people in my community spreading lies and bullshit about me. They have posted lies about me all over the internet. They have reached out to members of the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire and the National Libertarian Party, trying to get them to turn against me. They privately message the organizer of PorkFest, trying to get him to turn against me. They privately message the chair of the Libertarian Party to try to get her to denounce me. They have gone after influencer after influencer after influencer to try to get them to denounce me. And they have done this multiple times over, to the point where I have had people that this horde has sent into my feed threatening to show up at my house, threatening to show up at events I was at. I've had to report this to the police on multiple occasions. It got way out of control. It's still out of control, and it's being supported by really bad people.
Yeah, it's and they don't see the behavior as bad at all. They see it as because you have had issues with other people, which that is not authentic. Or, you know, authentic people have issues with people. You get in fights.
You don't get along with everyone. Not everyone needs to be best friends.
So they act like, okay, well, she hasn't gotten along with these few people, so that's our guys to then create this behavior that is not acceptable either way. And I think it's ridiculous. And again, I've tried to mirror their behavior to them, and they cry about it. They will literally cry about it, and they will do this, you know, they'll try to call the cops or try to, you know, track me down or whatever. And all I've done is stop being a hypocrite, stop lying. That's all I've said. All I continue to say.
I think it's hilarious when my supporters go and respond to them and they get blocked like immediately. And so like I've had times, and you've been involved in this too, where like people will go and respond to them and be like, cut the bullshit, this is ridiculous. And they block them immediately and they just ignore them. And then they go, no one supports Carlin, no one supports Carlin. You block everyone that tries to tell you to stop.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of your supporters, in like Patrice, they kind of see that like the behavior, we don't really care for drama, but everyone likes drama. It is, but addressing it on Twitter and addressing it with people that follow you is kind of your content. You're like you've said before, you're being authentic. You're trying to show this is what's going on. You know, people that think just addressing it and trying to get it resolved is bad behavior, but the people doing it means they're good people, and the psychologically fuckery that they have to go through just to freaking
Well, you know what I love about the psychological fuckery bit is they're so pissed off whenever I talk about engaging in psychological fuckery that they totally miss that I give them the key to the kingdom. I literally say, if you don't believe what I'm saying is true, then it doesn't work at all. All you have to do is not engage with it and not believe what I'm saying is true, and it doesn't work at all. The problem is they know everything that I'm saying is true, and so they can't escape it. They know it's true. That's why it fucks with them.
Yeah,
well, go ahead.
Truth except for you know, and stumbling over your own self. It's like Mike Harlow. I mean, he got mad because I would go on streams of people I've watched. I've been a conservative my whole life. I'm born and raised in Texas, so like I don't have the same walk away story or any of that stuff. So and I'm also gay, so like it's not. The way they're behaving is not behavior of conservative people. It's leftist behavior from the get-go. And me calling them out, you know, Mike Harlow doesn't make a video ever. I mean, I think for 2 or 3 weeks now, we've been waiting for a video next week, which I'm just watching because it's watching someone erratic. And if I want to watch it, I want to watch it. You're making public content. If people want to hate watch you, let them hate watch you. Like they want to make content, but as soon as someone's starting to make content about you and calling you whatever they want or clipping things out of context, and as soon as you try to address it, they're calling you unhinged. That's whenever they've lost the plot. They don't understand you are doing exactly what you're over here calling her unhinged for doing. It just doesn't make sense.
Yep. And we have Judy in the chat saying, yeah, Mikey blocked me for responding to someone that he happened to be in the message loop. He told me to fuck off. Did you know that this Twitter horde has also they also attack Sin, who is a senior citizen and a veteran, who they attack Sin for her looks. Like, yeah. I was like, you're literally like Mike Harlow's horde has literally attacked a senior citizen veteran for not being like their perfect conservative blonde thin young bimbo. I'm like, are you fucking insane?
Your character doesn't matter. What I think of you is what matters. And They're going to create whatever story they want of whoever they want. You know, even if they're defending you. And it's not, a lot of the times, it's not even defending you, because I watched Carrie as well. But it's not defending you because you're always right. It's defending you because this behavior is bad. And that's why I don't watch her. And the essay that she wrote, it was ridiculous. Her and Josh Slocum is another guy that, like,
oh, he's so awful. He's so awful.
And have personality disorders, and they feed off of talking about how they've been abused by their moms so much. And, you know, not to put all their business out there, but they already do. They make content out of this. They put that information out there, and then they get mad when someone is like, so this is all you're doing. Same with Mike Harlow. He puts out there he has something wrong with his jaw and he has to get checked for cancer, and then you say something and you're stalking him because he publicly puts it out there. It's I don't do that. I've never, even growing up, the social media stuff, I was always kind of pushy against it. I would have one just because everyone else did, but it was weird to post myself. It's weird to put yourself out there like that and not
I understand.
Back and to expect someone to have raw emotion about that pushback, even if it's for a day or two. It doesn't matter how long you've dealt with something. You can grieve differently for different things. I mean, these people are just very crazy, and I've kind of done interacting with them. I'm not really interacting with them, but, like, you know, watching a video that they have about you, of course I'm going to say stuff because this is what's been going on. They've been stalking and harassing you just as much as they want to cry that you have a sock accounts. They do too. They go around doing it. And iHypocrite probably has other accounts as well where he's going to watch people that he's blocked by, because how is he going to get content for making these kind of videos?
Exactly. Because he was blocked. I blocked him over a year ago. I don't know where the fuck this new account came from, but, like, I blocked him over a year ago when he started siding with the white identitarians, which I'm sure we're going to talk about in a minute, iHypocrite. But I just wanted to note, Patrice says they keep asking me to join them. They can fuck off. That's true. Patrice is one of my supporters who they have privately messaged on multiple occasions. Emily is a supporter too. I think they've tried to get most of her supporters to join them. They're reaching out to people privately, spreading this bullshit. And, you know, if they want to keep doing it, I can bring a defamation case against Carrie Smith and Mike Harlow right now and prove monetary damages. I really don't want to do that because I think it's a waste of time and energy. But if they want to keep pushing this shit, I'm more than happy to.
Yeah, no, the same, because I'm a private citizen. I don't have public content. So the fact that my picture's been put on all over Twitter with my full name, lies, I mean, blatant lies, that I was a druggie, that I'm stalking, all this other stuff, when all I'm doing is commenting on public content that's on YouTube. That's all it was. So he smeared me because I had an opinion. And I go, that's very leftist. Like, of course, that's what he's going to do. He's going to smear whoever has an opinion against him. And I think that's just his behavior. I mean, anyone that is his friend now, try to say something about where's your content or anything like that, he's going to block you immediately. And that's,
oh yeah,
I mean, whoever wants to do that, I don't think that's a bad thing. You can block whoever you want, but don't go crying about it and literally create a horde of people that are mad that you, Carlin, blocked them. That's all they're mad about. Every time I see a comment, well, she blocked me because I did that. And then it's okay. Well, get over it. Like, why are you spending your life?
Move on.
In hours, if you go and look at any of their tweets, hours of Carlin this, Carlin that. Oh, this about this. They're making memes. They're making T-shirts. They're doing art. They're making other profiles to do the same thing. There's other YouTubers that are attaching onto it and using it as a platform to continue the narrative of the same thing. It's literally CNN tactics.
No, I mean, it really is. I mean, look in Kieran's feed alone. 85% of Kieran's tweets are about me. I haven't spoken to Kieran in 8 months.
Yeah.
And it's like, he's still obsessed with me. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. It's people that think the rage is what's going to get them popular because, you know, through Trump, rage is what got you kind of popular, and not even rage that you made. Like your rage was people were mad that you went to a Trump rally. And just because at that time you were able to kind of see the light, you ended up being grouped in with conservatives, even though that's not what you are. but a lot of other people grouped in with that. And now like you got people that are stuck in it because that's all they've been promoting now. And then you kind of moved on where, you know, people through politics kind of grow. I'm a little bit more libertarian than conservative because I don't give, you do what you got to do. I don't want anyone's, I don't even care about other people's opinions, really. That's why I don't like so.
Well, you should come join the Libertarian Party. Apparently that really pisses them off.
I mean, I'm independent. Like I'm registered independent. So I will vary if I have to, but I grew up in a conservative household, and the politics versus the culture of conservatism are not the same, but people like Mike, people like Carrie like to make it the same, and they're both completely different. And I think, you know, some like Alex, I think he understands that they're completely different.
Yeah. I think he does too. And speaking of Alex, just to, you know, dispel any rumors that were created in that video and in that chat, Alex says they have fantasy dreams about me joining them. It will never happen. Even if I split with Carlin, I wouldn't join them because Alex actually has integrity.
Yes, and that's the problem. The Lime lady, which was
God, she lost it. What the hell?
Yeah, because she misunderstanding. You know, and this is when Mike Harlow made his video about you. Is whenever you had that tweet about Hitler going to heaven, and I'm whatever. I'm agnostic. I don't believe or confirm anyone's religion because I think everyone has a spirituality that fits what they've dealt with in life, and so whatever people want to believe is what they want to believe. But that's when that drama started. That's when Mike started. That's when
he had been starting before, but that's when it really escalated. Then he jumped on a pylon that he had nothing to do with in order to take advantage of the situation.
Exactly. And then that's whenever I kind of called it out because I could see it. You know, I'm not stupid, and I don't sit online, but I can get on Twitter and look and see what's going on in a conservative space. Like it's not all blocked, and so it cracks me up that like these people are not going to help any culture war. It's just going to die. They, like you're saying, they're just the abortion ban and all that other stuff. They're all promoting stuff that is so extreme on the other side that you're getting this pull back and forth. It's a tug of war, and they think they've already won, but it's not quite there. And it's because you do got people that want to rage. They want to rage. They want to be that guy online that's being snarky and that's making people mad and pissing the left off and all that other stuff. Just like the John Doyle stuff, whenever he had to go to that drag show and he had to be out there, you know, calling them groomers and stuff. Like, yeah, you can have an opinion about it, a respectful one at that, but going there and scaring the children and causing problems for people that really, that's their life. You have no control over how people are going to raise their kids or what's going to happen to anyone's kids. My mom has learned that even her own kids, she doesn't have control over everything that happens to them and what goes on. There's 5 of us, and we're all very different people. And it's crazy that there's people out there that are acting like this. And I've, again, supported you through it only because I've seen the behavior. Not because everything you've ever said I agree with. Like,
yeah, no. And like I said, we have had our tiffs, we've had our disagreements, but at the same time, like, you have really been there and you've stood up to them. And I've always really appreciated that. And it's not like, you know, just to, again, dispel any rumors, we don't actually know each other. Like, the only way that we know each other is through these people, because you stood up on Twitter and said, this is wrong, cut this shit out. And you were defending yourself too, because they've done similar things to you that they've done to me.
Yeah. Exactly. And again, I'm a private citizen. So, and all it was because I had an opinion about Mike Harlow. That's how I got drug into this. Mm-hmm. And that's whenever, you know, I'm going to defend myself. And anyone who thinks it's wrong to defend yourself, no matter how it is, they don't understand. They've never had to defend themselves against anyone.
I hate to interrupt, but iHypocrite is complaining in my private chat, because even though he has hours and 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 hours to watch videos of me to make his little out of context montage, he can't sit tight like a good little boy until I'm ready to speak to him. So I don't know. Any final words before we wrap up and get on to what was likely to be the main event of the day?
I'll let you go. I'll be watching to see what happens. I definitely thank you for talking, and hi for the first time.
Well, it's nice to meet you, and thank you for standing up for me in the chat and defending. And I really appreciate you. And you're much more handsome than Mike Harlow. I will definitely give you that.
Well, I'm up there, but not that far. But thank you.
All right. Well, we'll talk again soon. Have a good day. Bye. All right, guys. Well, I suppose we are getting to the main event. Hypocrite has joined us. Now, Hypocrite, before I bring you on the channel, I'm going to go over some rules with you. Now, I didn't have to do those rules with the other people, but because you are, not necessarily a friendly on my channel, I'm going to do those rules with you. We have call-in rules on this channel, this is my channel. My channel goes by my rules. If you come on my channel and you are an overt douchebag to me, I will remove you. I am happy to have conversations with people I disagree with. I am not happy to have conversations with people who comment and are rude to me in my house. You're coming into my house. If you start throwing stuff around and acting like a deranged crazy person, I'm going to remove you from my house. But if you hold it together, if you are able to act like an adult and have a civil dialogue, then, you can stay. But keep in mind, this is my fucking channel, and you're here by my grace. Welcome to the channel, Hypocrite.
Hey, Carlin, how's it going?
I mean, can I call you Hypocrite? I think it's the most appropriate at the moment.
Yeah, most people call me LP, but
No, I'm going to call you Hypocrite.
Okay. Do you like my video?
I think you spent an awful lot of time obsessing over me to try to find as many out of context things as you possibly could, to smear me because I don't know, you're obsessed with me. What was your motivation for even spending this much time on me?
You guys say out of context a lot. By the way, before we get into that real quick, I just want to say I don't have burner accounts. I don't know why you're making those speculations and allegations about me. So see, that's just weird to me. That speaks to the kind of mental issues you have, that you think it's normal that everybody has burner accounts for keeping dibs on the people they blocked on Twitter.
It's not for keeping dibs. Stop. It's not for keeping dibs on people I blocked on Twitter. It is keeping dibs on the public lies that they are telling about me, because when you and people like that make videos and do things in public that I am inevitably going to hear about anyway, I need to actually be able to go and assess the full context of what is going on to see for myself what is being said. Because unlike you, I don't actually rely on the words of others or out of context clips or tweets or any of that. I go and look at the full context. There is absolutely nothing wrong with having a burner account. I will create as many as I want. And the fact that it fucks with you guys so gloriously is just a whole other level of joy that I get out of the situation. And Mike Harlow, I just saw you join. You're not coming for call-ins. You want it too much. Mike Harlow just tried to join for a call-in, just so everyone knows.
It doesn't fuck with me, Carlin. I think A, it's funny, and B, in all seriousness, I don't think it's healthy behavior. The whole point of blocking somebody is so you don't have to think about them anymore.
I blocked you.
No, you didn't. You
yes,
didn't.
I did.
No,
yes,
you didn't.
I did. Yes,
I was surprised that you didn't.
I did block you over a year ago.
You must have unblocked me because, so what happened was you were doing your anti-white thing, and I quote tweeted
you. Mean I was calling out white identitarians for using the anti-CRT movement to recruit, which is something that I have proved emphatically was absolutely going on. You mean that's what you mean? The anti-white thing?
You were calling out everybody who says CRT is anti-white.
No, I wasn't.
Okay, well, hang
I was
on.
calling
so anyways,
out. I know exactly who I was calling out and who I was not calling out. And I was calling out white identitarians.
Everybody.
Yes, and that is the white well-being and white positivity movement, which I'm happy to bring up the document. We can review the documentation together if you would like. I'm happy to show you. We can do it right now.
Anyway, I'm just trying to get the history.
So you don't want to. So you don't. Wait. You said you're trying. You said you're trying. Stop talking. You said you were trying to get the history.
God.
I am more than happy right now
to
bring up
what's on the table right now is that you blocked me on Twitter. This is what you're saying, but you didn't block me.
No, what's on the table is that you are saying that I called everyone who said the words anti-white as a white identitarian. That's not actually what I said.
When you blocked
why don't we watch the white identitarian content? Let me just bring it up real quick. Why don't we just look at some evidence?
I don't have time for this.
So you're saying you have time to have a conversation with me, but you don't have time to look at evidence that says exactly what I say it does?
Tree,
you don't have time to look at evidence?
I asked Tree. She said she'd be happy to debate you.
I offered that months ago, and Tree never responded to me because Tree is a liar.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
Tree, call in right now. Let's look at the evidence, Tree. 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 Let's do it. I'm bringing it up right now.
Carlin, listen to me. I talked to Tree. She'll debate you on a neutral third-party platform.
That is not what the offer is.
You won't talk to people unless you can yell over them and silence them.
Well, it is my channel. Well,
it is your channel, but she's willing to debate you on somebody else's channel. That's the whole point. That's what I'm telling you.
No, I'm not willing to do that. What I would like to do right now is to look at some evidence about who the anti-white people actually are that I've fully documented in this article that I've discussed on multiple occasions. You actually saw tweets from these people. I know you saw tweets from these people because they were in your video. So let's watch. What's a good one that we can watch to talk about the anti-white movement?
I came here.
So you don't want to see the evidence? This guy right here was actually in your video. This guy right here was so you're saying you don't care about seeing evidence that disproves the points that you made about me in the video. You're saying you don't care about seeing the evidence at all. Is that what I'm hearing? You don't care about seeing evidence that directly disproves the claims you made in the video? Let's watch.
No. You're cherry picking people who are maybe actually white identitarians.
Every time you
using that to say that everybody who says CRT is anti-white are the same as those people.
Men, women, and children of our race. Everywhere you see that being used by them, the vagues out there. Everywhere you see it being used in the regime's media. Everywhere you see it being in alternative media.
This is what you do. You dodge and you deflect.
I'm playing the evidence for you right now.
Friendly to those who care about white well-being, to somewhat white sympathetic, all the way to radically anti-white media online, alternative media online. Every time you see that, it is because of us. And I cannot tell you the surreal environment that I live in on a daily basis after pushing something for far more than 2 decades now. I'm not going to give away my real age, but for far more than 2 decades, I have been pushing anti-white, anti-whiteism, Western kind, white well-being. And we have to reach new levels.
Carlin,
we're watching a video right now. We're watching evidence. Pay attention.
Who have been with us either for weeks.
Pay attention. Well, you waited for a while and you took a lot of time to do that video. I just think you'd like to see some evidence that directly disproves what you said.
This is what will change the world we live in. Because if you can change the societal conversation, you change that milieu, you change that matrix in which everything has to take place. Every conversation by every water.
This isn't a rebuttal. This is a fucking
It is actually.
Pause the video.
It is actually. I'll pause the video, but I will pause the video to point out. No. We're gonna watch some other videos too. We're gonna watch.
I'm leaving, Carlin. I'm leaving.
Sorry, you can't take being shown evidence that directly disproves your point. You're such a coward that you can't be. I'm trying to show you. Oh, see, that is I hypocrite right there. That is I hypocrite right there. That is the hypocrite who would spend hours and hours and hours and hours and hours watching all sorts of footage about me, but couldn't take a couple of minutes to look at evidence that directly disproves the claims that he made in that video. Couldn't handle even just a couple of, that was a 2-minute video. He could not handle watching a 2-minute video that is exactly the people who I was saying were using the anti-white language, was exactly the people who I was blocking, but he did not care to look at the larger context. And this is the challenge that we're running into. When conservatives pretend to look at the full breadth of evidence and just take it all in, they're lying. They're lying. Because he waited to get on my channel for what, probably like 10, maybe 15 minutes while I was talking to Just Asking. He waited his turn for a call-in. He spent hours and hours and hours and hours and hours watching footage of me before. He spent hours and hours and hours putting together a video about me. And then he couldn't take 2 minutes to look at a video that directly disproves the things and the claims that he was making in that video. Couldn't even be bothered. That is the level of discourse in the conservative movement. And that is why I want nothing to do with these people at all. Hypocrite, if you ever want to come and actually look at the evidence, and I'll bring this up and I'll show people. If you want to see, I have mountains of videos in this article. This is an article on my Substack, and I will put the URL in the chat below. You can go watch it for yourself. It is on carlin.substack.com. The title is "The Backlash to Critical Race Theory is Here, and They're Trying to Co-opt the Anti-CRT Movement." In this article, I explicitly lay out who these people are that are calling critical race theory anti-white. I explicitly lay out that they have for years been trying to get the media to adopt their anti-white language. I explicitly lay out that they were going into the anti-CRT groups on Facebook to try to recruit people to their white identitarian movement. I explicitly lay out that they have created burner accounts all over the internet to do this. I explicitly lay out that they are creating schools that are all about teaching white children to embrace the white race and white well-being and white positivity. I explicitly lay out that these are people who do not believe the Holocaust happened. I explicitly lay out that these people are going after Chris Rufo. I explicitly lay out that they are the ones that are pushing the anti-white language. This guy right here was actually in Hypocrite's video. If you saw, go back and see it. It was a quick thing, but he scrolled right by it. It was this guy right here. This guy has a BitChute channel where he has redone John Lennon's song Imagine to talk about getting rid of all the Jews, and so the white diaspora will be as one. That's on BitChute. This other guy has gone on Fox News specifically to push the anti-white language. That's why we see him here with Tucker Carlson right at the top. This guy is one of the people that's pushing this language. And I even have them. Let's even just go down to the end. I even have them. Oh, there he is with David Duke. And this guy, Mark Collette's a British neo-Nazi. That's who we're talking about. And I even have Jason admitting, we're going to watch this video. This is Jason admitting that every single thing I said about them was the truth. Let's just watch this. And then I have Tree of Logic's butt apparently wants to do a call-in, so you can wait a second, but let's just watch this video and listen to the leader of the white well-being and white positivity movement say explicitly that everything I said about them was the truth. Not any of those things. And if you hear the phrase CRT is anti-white,
yeah,
that's coming from them.
Yes.
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 She's so right.
I'm right. This is why I've always been.
This is where I agree with her. When she talks about how it's coming from us and how smart we are, 100% agreement with, you know, if I want to say, and I do want to say something, even people I don't like, I want to say something nice about. So I will say that every now and again, in occasions like these, Carlin has flashes of brilliance.
Been so against using the anti-white language. They are purposefully trying to advance their ideology and their agenda by influencing language and influencing culture. We lost Tree of Logic. Tree of Logic left.
Fantastic. Another moment of brilliance.
And starting next week, we are going to start releasing information about exactly what they're doing so that all of you know exactly what to look at, because I have found them in probably a dozen different groups.
Found us in a dozen different groups. She personally.
On Facebook at this point.
Yeah.
Posting. And they post it so slickly. It's not like they come in and they say,
we are in more than a dozen groups.
More than a dozen groups.
And we're spreading like the curative contagion that we are.
Do you want to join a white well-being group? That's not what they do. They're taking advantage of people who are just learning about critical race theory, just getting involved.
She says they don't go in there and say, hey, do you want to get into white well-being? They go in there and they say, hey, you know what? This program, it's victimizing white people. It's anti-white. Yeah, because that's what it is. That's what's happening. It's white erasing us from they can look at the textbooks and they can see the race of people being victimized. And then people show up, champions, real heroes show up, and then they give them concepts for what they can see with their own eyes.
So that is the leader of the white well-being and white positivity movement. That is who I was talking about when I was blocking everyone that says critical race theory is anti-white, talking about how they have been explicitly using the anti-CRT groups on Facebook to recruit to their movement, which is exactly what I lay out in this article. They're going into those groups to try to recruit people who are angry about what's going on. And I understand why those people are angry, but they're explicitly using those groups to recruit. And I have over a dozen videos that prove that these people are exactly and precisely who I say they are. You guys are all welcome to go and watch all of those videos on your own time. You are welcome to read the article to see exactly what I laid out. And again, it's called The Backlash to Critical Race Theories here, and they're trying to co-opt the anti-CRT movement, and you can judge for yourself if what I said is correct or not. Unfortunately, I, hypocrite, was too much of a coward to even be able to sit through 1 2-minute video that disproves every single thing that he said in relation to his comments about me attacking people for being white supremacists. No, 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 honey. No, no, no. What I was pointing out correctly was that there was a group of people, there still is a group of people, who are using language as a weapon to try to recruit to the white well-being or white positivity movement. I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think that that is a good place that people should be spending their time in. I think that critical race theory is racist against everyone. It is not just racist against white people. It is racist against brown people and black people and Indians and Asians and everyone. And we do not need a special word for racism against white people. Critical race theory is racist. It is racist against everyone. And that is really all that's required. So I do have one more call in. And again, haters, you are welcome to call in and have a conversation with me. Now, I would suggest, they just left. They just left. They knew I was getting to them. So as you can see, the only hater that was brave enough to come onto my feed to try to have a conversation with me turned into a chicken shit coward. As soon as I showed him evidence that directly contradicted the hour-plus long video that he made about me. Do you guys want to watch some more content since, you know, we don't... Well, let's just watch a couple more of these videos since we're waiting for the haters to find their balls and call in. Let's just watch a couple more of the videos that... This is who Carrie Smith supports. This is who Mike Harlow supports. These are people who Carrie Smith and Mike Harlow and Deb Philman and I, Hypocrite, and Adam Krigler, all of these people support the people in these videos. Let's just watch a couple more since we have a little extra time together. Let's see. We watched that one from Jason. Oh, let's watch Jason talk about what he thinks about conservatives. This is who I, Hypocrite, is aligning with. He thinks that these white well-being assholes are conservatives. Let's hear what Jason says about conservatives.
In the work that we are doing in the service to white well-being and the work everywhere else you go when it comes to the white positive sphere, conservatives, nationalists, whatever it might be, they all live inside of the anti-white narrative, and therefore they can never win. They do not know this. Trust in that, because I have conversations with these folks, and they are as dim-witted as a mule.
That's what they think of conservatives.
They want to talk all of these.
That's what he thinks of I, Hypocrite.
Things that have nothing to do with the fundamental differences and changes that we have to make in this world, which begin in the hearts and minds of our people, and then branch out so that when we do get to an opportunity to take advantage of new developments in our contexts, we will be situated to take advantage of those developments, and we will also be immunized against what the anti-whites can do to us, even once we start to regain our destiny. Because rest assured, just because some group of white people somewhere suddenly throws up a new flag or an old flag or whatever it might be, rest assured that they are not going to be resistant or resilient to what anti-whites can do to them, to fracture them, to sectarianize them, to turn them against each other, to turn them against themselves. You need to be immunized by going free if you are going to survive what the anti-whites can throw at us. So it's not going to be this same old basic nationalism, bitch nationalism that's been beaten. The bitch conservatism that's been beaten. The bitch patriotism that's been beaten. The bitch religiosity that's been beaten. All of it been beaten by the anti-whites. None of it will suffice. All of it can be added to. All of it can be ancillary to the very surgical, fundamental work that we are doing here.
That's what he thinks of conservatives. That's what the actual person who is actually pushing the CRT as anti-white language, That's what he thinks of conservatives. He thinks conservatives are a bunch of useful idiots, just like iHypocrite proved him to be correct. AD says these people are literally flirting with ideology that lynched Italians. These people are flirting with ideology that is bad in any number of ways. Let's see. What other video should we watch? Let's talk about, okay, so this is a video where Jason is talking about how explicitly they are going into forums to try to recruit people to their movement by teaching them to use the anti-white language. This is why I block anyone who uses the anti-white language. And it is that term specifically, because these people are trying to push that language in order to shift culture, in order to recruit more people to their movement. Let's hear them explicitly explain this. iHypocrite doesn't want you to hear this.
We have done this. We are the ones responsible for this change. We are the ones responsible for normal, ordinary white people around planet Earth taking up a dialogue in their own defense because it has the moral backbone. It has the moral structure. We are the ones who did this. Who else is responsible for this? You know who else? Yiz is. Take a look at this. Yiz writes to me, another great success in cluster I've been influencing. In a Discord chat about movies and video games, a discussion about racial ethnic displacement of white people, characters started. And one of the people who has been paying attention to me engaged to speak the truth about anti-whiteism. He even used the terms erasure and anti-whiteism correctly. This person is not, all caps, repeat, not, all caps, someone I have personally coached. This is a guy I barely know, but who has been listening to me and other content creators I have been influencing. Get a raucous round of emojis for Yiz and everybody like Yiz out there. Punch the air. Celebrate today. Set off fireworks. These are people taking up verbiage that enables white people to defend themselves everywhere they are without ever reading any of our so-called white sympathetic philosophers or political thinkers or any of that nonsense.
This is the guy who Tree of Logic says doesn't exist. This is the guy who Tree of Logic says I just made up. I did not make them up. In fact, Yiz is a person. Yiz is a trans person, ironically, that recruits for this white well-being movement. And when I was on Adam Krigler's show, that last show that I did before I told him before I just never went on again, the show that I did the 7-hour stream about, they were talking about Yiz specifically in the chat. They were specifically bringing this person up. Why would they specifically be bringing this person up if they had nothing to do with this white well-being movement? We're going to watch some more videos in a second. Nerd2 says, Radio Shack Twitter is based? Yes, it is. Radio Shack's Twitter, if you have not seen it lately, is basically the best thing that's ever happened. But let's learn more about what Yiz is doing in these discussion groups where she is going in explicitly trying to get people to use the anti-white language, which is what I will block people for every day of the week. If you come on my channel and you're like, CRT is anti-white, CRT is anti-white, CRT is anti-white, I'm going to assume that you're part of this group, because this is the group that is pushing this language. This is the group that is responsible for places like Fox News using this language. This is where it's coming from.
First Amendment, Second Amendment, constitutional rights people, anti-white, even politicians and the like, using anti-white, saying that they're not anti-white. You never got them to say this kind of stuff before, and you never will, being a troglodytic jackass in your backwater nonsense in every one of these fetid pools around the internet, who want to blame and smear and shame and smear and say, you're not purity spiraling well enough into Aunt Nat Nitwittery. What you need to be doing is holding rallies where a bunch of men shout racial epithets. That will make the day come when we recapture our destiny. BS. You're never going to speak to those people. You're never going to march in any streets and control any cities. You are a fool if you think otherwise. We are changing the world. And people like Yiz, she is at the forefront of that. And if you don't like it, it's because you are a loser. Outdo her if you don't like it. God bless Yiz and everyone else who's making it happen. Nathaniel, Naderific, Jared George,
We can go down the list on and on for people who are changing the world using the dialectics that matter.
They have entire teams of people who are doing this on the internet all day, every day. And they were going into the anti-CRT groups on Facebook in order to do that. Let's watch as Jason admits exactly what I said was happening and exactly why I was blocking everyone who was using the term anti-white. That they were really bad people, that he is not aligned with the conservative movement or the Republicans or anything like that. He's not on the left or the right.
Okay, she's right there. We're not in their false spectrum. We're outside of their story.
They're a third thing.
I'm going to try to speed her up a little bit. I'm not speeding her up to make her sound bad. But because we don't have all night.
Third thing.
And what they're doing is they're
It
trying
doesn't
to
believe the
infiltrate
Jews are real
anti-CRT
people. That's
movement.
the third thing they are.
All right, we're not. She is viewing this from the position that she
and Adam was
is
happy
the
to
center
take
of the
their money.
universe. What a surprise!
Adam was happy to take their money.
So that's why she sees it as an infiltration of the. Rory, we can have you call. How long are you going to be able to be up? Let me know.
Always bring receipts, honey.
But she views it as an infiltration of the CRT movement because she thinks that she's the center of the universe, and she's not. Big surprise. Although she probably does have a lot of gravitational pull, but
sounds a lot like I Hypocrite, doesn't
it that way. The reality is that we are combating anti-whiteism wherever it exists. So we are going to be talking about, and the great champions and the outreach teams and all of us working independently together, whatever it might be, are going to be speaking about all of this endeavor to manipulate white people into having sex with non-white people and guilting white people into having sex with non-white people. Because
isn't it fascinating that we're literally watching a stream of someone complaining about white people having sex with non-white people, and these are the people that I Hypocrite is aligned with. These are the people that Carrie Smith are aligned with. These are the people that Mike Arlo are aligned with. They all support this, because if they didn't, I presented this evidence back in September of last year, and they are still denying that this evidence exists. All of them are denying that this evidence exists. That I Hypocrite video is denying that this evidence exists. Mike Harlow and Carrie Smith are denying that this evidence exists. Why don't they want to look at it? Why are they continuing to deny that this exists when it's right in front of their faces? This guy's literally complaining about white people having sex with non-white people, and everyone thinks this is okay? I don't think this is okay.
Because they are not, they don't want to be a sexual racist or whatever it might be. So we're going to be talking about that as well. So I'm sure the people over there who are white Republicans or conservatives, or Carlin is not white, I understand.
Hang on. When he says I'm not white, who wants to take a guess in the chat about what he means when he says I'm not white? Because this is what they do. They say I'm not white all the time. I look pretty white, right? Because I am. But what do people in the chat think that he means when he says, well, Carlin is not white? Any guesses? I know we have a little bit of a delay. Yup, you guys know. You guys know exactly what he means when he says that. Let me just wait for it. Yup, there it is. He's saying I'm a Jew. Because these guys do not like Jews. These guys do not believe the Holocaust happened. I can actually play you evidence of that. These people do not believe the Holocaust even happened. Boomher says that they say I'm a Jew. Well, hang on, that's not what I wanted. Just T says I'm a Jew. Yeah, that's exactly what he's saying. He's saying that that I'm a Jew. Incognito says, I bet I Hypocrite is going to make a response to this. I mean, whether he does or he doesn't, I Hypocrite has already proven himself to be a coward who could not sit through a 2-minute video that contradicted the hour-plus long video that he made about me, because he is a coward. He is a coward. Benjamin, I see you calling in. I want to finish up this video if that's okay. Can you just give me a thumbs up if it's okay if we just finish up this video? Is that all right? Cool. Benjamin's giving me the thumbs up. I want to finish up this video so people can actually see what we're talking about here. And then we're going to go to Benjamin for a call-in. Guys, if you want to call into the channel and have a conversation with me about the I Hypocrite video or what we're watching right now, whether you like me or whether you don't, you are welcome to call in. The link is at the top of the chat. You do not need to come on video, but you do need to have a microphone.
Whoever they might be sitting in a gate, they're going to freak out when they see our people show up and we start teaching all of these whites who are Westmen, men and women, who are pinned up in these great big pins by Republicans, conservatives, and standing at the gates. When we show up and we begin telling them about the truth of anti-whiteism, they're going to freak out. And they're going to say, oh, they're trying to infiltrate.
This is who I was blocking.
They just came into
right
existence because we are the center of the universe. And so these folks just came into existence, and now they're going to try to take over what we're doing. I mean, it really shows this solipsistic, myopic, and she does wear glasses, neuropathy. I mean, she's like neurotic. She's to view herself and this little endeavor of hers as the center of the universe, very childish.
In order to basically like recruit people to their movement. But what they're doing is they're going into anti-CRT groups on Facebook, and I have all the evidence of this. We're going to be publishing next week, and they're trying to target people when they're afraid and
No, this is
right.
verbiage right here, targeting people when they're
right.
afraid and confused. This, of course, is
this is what I said was happening.
This, of course, is to misrepresent.
He just admitted it.
You misrepresent for some obvious reasons. So if she wanted to be
my position when I was blocking everyone that said the term anti-white was that the people like him that were using that term were going into the anti-CRT groups trying to get people to use that language so that they made it easier for them to recruit them to their movement. He literally just agreed and said that I was explicitly right with what they were trying to do. He literally just agreed with me. He's reacting to me saying that, saying, yes, that's exactly what we were doing.
Be legitimate, which she won't. She would be telling people what we actually say, because what we actually say she hates, but she knows that what we actually say is not enough to turn people against us, or at least to turn enough. I mean, maybe the really crazy, ass sniffing of, every poodle or boxer dog that walks down the street kind of a person, maybe that person she'll be able to turn against us, but based on what we say. But the average, even anti-white, are not going to be able to, all right, thanks, Rory, are not going to be able to, I don't know, we might not make 30 minutes. Keep an eye on it, brother. But if not, then you're first next week. Might not be able to run them off unless she chucks in that, oh, they're targeting people who are scared and confused. And then they come in and manipulate them. So what a crock of, in other words, what we do is we show up in forums, we show up on live streams, and we share the truth. We tell people what's going. We give people our opinion. Here she says, and again, putting the lie to her position, that she's for free speech. She'll say this all the time. People can say whatever they want, except silence these ones. So we show up and we share our opinions in these different places. The digital town square of the 21st century. We show up there and we share our opinion. We share with the water cooler. She even talks about somewhere about hearing it in person. That's where she was hearing it at first.
True.
We're sharing our views because we're tired of
these
being
people
victimized.
were showing up to events I was doing in person. They were showing up to events I was doing in person. That's how I figured this out. And we can watch some more videos, but we do have a couple of call-ins, and we have Benjamin, and then we have Rob. I don't know if Rob is friend or foe. I do know Benjamin is friend, so we'll go to him first. But Rob, even if Rob is a foe, he can still come on, and as long as he's polite, we can have a conversation. But before we do that, we're going to go to Benjamin. Benjamin, welcome to the stream.
Good afternoon. By the way, I do take exception to the, she wears glasses.
Well, they attack every other part of my look, so why wouldn't they attack that?
Yeah. I've been listening to this while learning how to drive in a place I'm unfamiliar with, learning very, very quickly. And, it takes a lot of effort to do things. It takes effort to do stuff. And I'm hearing all the effort it's taking all these people to do the various plotting and these various shenanigans. It's like, where do you have time for your lives? I have my life. And so when I try to get involved in other activities and things, I have to make choices. I sacrifice things. And sometimes I can't get one thing done because of doing another thing. There's only 24 hours in the day, and some of them you have to rest. Are these people burning themselves out, or are they just empty? Because life takes time.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, Benjamin. Like the thing that's been most astonishing for me in this entire reality. Yeah, sorry. Like I
still
agree.
there?
I can hear you. I don't know. Can people in the chat hear us? I can hear you. I don't know if you can hear me, but I will say, like, I agree with you in that I think it is absolutely crazy how much time these people spend on me. Like, if you look at their Twitter, I'm sure their whole Twitter feeds are like filled with stuff about me. I'm like, I wasn't even thinking about you today. I have like 2 different new podcasts that I was trying to launch today. I was trying to launch my my Dis and Rage podcast from last night. I also have another podcast. It's a project that I was doing. Oh, that sounds like Benjamin, you sound like you might be breaking up a little bit. But yeah, I agree with you that I don't know how these people have this time. Oh, we lost Benjamin. We lost him. I know where he is. He's in a place without cell phone coverage, but I appreciate you calling in, Benjamin, and I'm sad we couldn't hear more from you. But let's hear from Rob. And guys, if you want to do a call in, this will probably be, if no one else calls in, I'm probably going to wrap the stream after this. Maybe I'll do a final closing thoughts, but this is our last call for call-ins. If you want to call in, the link is at the top of the chat. Welcome, Rob, to the channel.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Enjoy
Are
your
you here to
show.
yell?
I'm a friend.
Okay, so you're friend. You're friend. You're not going to yell at me. Excellent. Well, I appreciate that.
No. I've just been listening and just the insanity that these people are bringing to the table. And it's just like, don't you guys understand? It's much deeper than these issues. It's more basic to where, you know, it's just, you're missing the point. You keep on missing the point. I have the same issue with my whole family to where I have to go and interact with them, but you know, they're always right. They're always right. And they can't break away from and realize that, do you want to be right or you want to do the right thing? And it's just like, come on. I mean, if you claim to be a Christian, which I am, know that you're not perfect and that no one's perfect. And we're all trying to do our best, and let's help each other. Even if you're not a Christian, let's help. You know, we're not in this alone. We're not in this in a self-centered world. We're in this all together.
You know, Rob, I completely agree with you. And that's why for me, it was so kind of like mind boggling because all of this stuff that we're talking about now started playing out over a year ago now. So it was a little over a year ago. And it's like, it was so mind boggling for me when it started to play out because I'm like, these are bad people. These are not good people. Why are the right pretending that they can't see them? And it's like, I understand to some extent there's going to be, people are going to feel triggered when they've been called racist over and over and over and over and over again. And like all of a sudden someone is saying like, people on your side are legitimately doing racist things. But at the same time, it's like, you have to stand up and say something when something is obviously wrong.
Yes. No, and that's the insidiousness of CRT is it affects both sides. It'll infect the initial infection on the left has produced produced various elements like anti-capitalism, anti-white by there, but those are all subcategories of what it actually is going on to where then the right tries to take those subcategories and say, this is what it's all about and all about. It's, no, it's not. Back up and look at the whole picture to where you'll see it's actually an individual infection, brain infection, if you will. And stop it. You don't want to be led astray. Nobody wants to be led astray. They want to know what the truth is. Let's try and seek what the truth of the matter is, but we have to stop and we have to wait and gather information and analyze it to where a lot of these people, they just don't want to do that. They just want to be right. And it's like, that's the wrong path. You're going to go off and not be productive. You're going to hurt. What you claim to advocate for, you're going to hurt. It's just ridiculous.
And we saw that in iHypocrite's video where I was tweeting about those people that we just watched. I said, these are bad people. Here's what they're saying. Here's what they're doing. And he was like, but I ratioed you. And that's really the most important thing. And I was like, dude, come on. That like a ratio on Twitter is a meaningless thing in the face of like an actual white power movement.
Right. And one thing I really want to say is thank you for doing your show and doing all that. I've followed you for a couple years now, and I just really appreciate that. You know, you're picking apart what's going on and getting deeper into the issues. Just because I listen to so many people and it's just like, come on, you're missing the deeper stuff. You're just on the surface, to where you have done a great job in being able to pull this apart and show it to people. And I get the same reaction from people I talk to, you know, who are conservatives, because I came from conservative family and it's still in a conservative culture, but I get rebuffed so many times. But it's, hey, what else am I going to do? Am I going to just play along, or am I going to say, no, that's crap, you know? And I really appreciate you doing what you're doing. So, but I got to get going. And thank you for allowing me to talk.
Thank you, Rob, and thank you for the support, and thank you for calling in. I really do appreciate it, and I'm going to try to keep doing what I'm doing, and hopefully it appeals to people like you that are taking a more nuanced look at things, and that's really all I can do. You know, it's all I can do.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good rest of your day. All right, guys, we have one more call-in that is called in, and again, I'm not sure if this person is friend or foe, but just in case you are foe, you will be polite to me on my stream. If you are not polite to me on my stream, you will be removed from my stream rather quickly, because this is my channel and we are playing. This is my house, and you will not come in and sling shit in my house without being removed from my house. I hope you're friend. I hope you're polite. Welcome to the channel.
Welcome. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
I accept your rules, and I do have to declare I'm currently a foe.
Okay.
It surprised me that you are nominated to the governor position in New Hampshire by the LP.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of, I've been a long time supporter of the ideology of libertarianism, but I always believe that the party has been somewhat of a joke, with various naked people dancing on stage, with people providing weird takes on stage during debates that don't really have support in the literature. So when somebody shows up that's an outsider and becomes a nominee to a key position, I wonder, do you have the knowledge that it takes, even if you offer some kind of a political compromise, or let's use the government to reduce the government position. What do you know about libertarian values? What are libertarian values?
Well, okay. So I'm happy to answer your questions, and I'm happy to talk this through with you, and you're being polite. And so I hope we can just have like a good back and forth dialogue, because I think that the same questions you have are the same questions other people have. And I'm happy to answer them. Well, how do I pronounce your name? I want to make sure I get that first.
You can say Casimir or Kashmir, whatever is more convenient. It's a pseudonym.
Okay, Casimir. So have you been following what's been going on with the Libertarian Party in terms of the Mises Caucus takeover?
Yes, I absolutely have.
Okay, so I'm a member of the Mises Caucus. I joined the I was actually recruited by the Mises Caucus recruiters in New Hampshire because they knew what I was doing with the anti-CRT stuff. I actually worked on an anti-CRT bill in New Hampshire to try to lobby support for it, which was New Hampshire was the first state to actually introduce one of those on a statewide level, and I rallied a lot of support for it in the state. And when that happened, the Mises Caucus recruiters in the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire came and recruited me, and that was in February of 2020. I kind of like hemmed and hawed about it for a month, and I kind of thought about it because, you know, to be quite frank, I thought that the Libertarian Party was woke. I always thought I had more libertarian principles after I left the left, but I remained an independent for all of 2020 because I basically thought that the Libertarian Party was woke. Joe Jorgensen tweeted Black Lives Matter. I didn't like that at all, and so I dismissed them as a possibility. When the Mises Caucus recruiters came and recruited me in February of 2021, they talked to me about how the Mises Caucus was different. They talked to me about the Mises Caucus platform, which I absolutely align with. I align with the private property stuff, ending the drug war, anti-war. Obviously, I'm extremely anti-identity politics. And again, this was at the same time that I was working on creating support for the anti-CRT divisive concept bill in New Hampshire. I ultimately decided that I did not like. So what happened in New Hampshire Hampshire is the Republican governor and people in the Republican Party actually sabotaged and watered down the anti-CRT bill to make it much less effective than it could have been. And they did this to kiss the asses of the Democrats. And I didn't like this at all. And so when the Republicans in New Hampshire sabotaged this bill, I basically said, I want nothing to do with the Republican Party if they are not serious about fighting critical race theory. I was already iffy about them anyway, and I joined the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire and the Libertarian National Party. That was in April of 2021. I immediately got involved in the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire. I joined their politics and their communications committee. I go to all their meetups. I work with them. Like, I talk to them every single day. This is a group that I actually became involved with on a political activism level and was friends with. Now, how did I get nominated for governor? I wasn't actually supposed to get nominated for governor. So we are running a candidate for Senate named Jeremy Kauffman. He is a staunch libertarian. He's a free stater in New Hampshire, and he is a very, very principled guy. He is our Senate nominee for this year, and we're putting a lot of effort and a lot of resources into helping Jeremy Kauffman campaign. What happened is we were worried that there is a member of the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire that we do not like, that is not libertarian at all. He is completely woke. He is a complete pain in the ass. He was going to try to get nominated for governor. My getting nominated for governor was to block him from getting our party endorsement. My campaign for governor was not really ever meant to be something that we were putting a lot of effort and resources into, because I have a platform. I can get words out. I actually have pretty decent name recognition in New Hampshire. It was something that we didn't want this other person to be the official party nominee for governor. And so we had to put someone into that role, and I drew the short straw and I did it. Now, in terms of libertarian principles, I have a whole website about this. It's carlinlovesnewhampshire.com that lays out my explicit platform and what the platform is, and it's all surrounding defunding the schools and decoupling education from state, which is a part of the Libertarian Party platform. That is my number one position and the number one thing that I'm working on in terms of raising awareness around cameras in classroom, defunding programs with equity in the title, fixing the anti-CRT bill that the Republicans broke, creating more homeschool opportunities in New Hampshire. I am deeply involved with the libertarian community in this state. And though I understand that people outside of this state may not understand it and they think that this is a grift and a publicity stunt, it is not. This is actually something that I do in real life. And so those, and I'm happy to answer questions that you might have, because I know I've just said a lot, but that is how I got nominated for the party for governor, is because I have gotten involved with the party. I've done a lot in the party, and they liked my messaging. They liked my platform, and we wanted to be able to give people a choice on the ballot. And that's how it worked out.
There are two problems I have. Everything I've heard so far is great. The main problem I have is that I don't think you understand who's making the videos, and specifically, if you consider that video a character assassination.
Oh, I do.
Assassin? Okay, fine. So the assassin is not a conservative of the GOP.
I know.
The assassin is a real conservative that believes that that people should have consistency in the way they engage with others, and if they believe that something is evil to do to them, then it's also evil universally.
Well, that's not who's involved in that video, though. I know exactly who was involved in that video. They were all in the chat. Carrie Smith, Mike Harlow, that little horde that they all have, and they've gotten him into it because, like, it's the same talking points that I've heard from this group over and over and over and over and over again. Now, do you have a specific question about one of the specific clips? Because you said that there was stuff that you were like, so like my argument is that that the things in that video were taken out of context. Your argument is apparently that they're not. Do you have a specific question about a specific? Okay, what is your argument?
My argument is that you're stopped. You're stopped from complaining about people taking things out of context when within your own breadth of work, there are instances where you have taken other people's stuff out of context to make critical videos of them. Well, no, I don't want to get lured into specific drama, but I'm pretty sure that if that your question will be answered with another video if you really insist on it.
I answer it. I say answer it. Like, I would like to know specifically what I have taken out of context in order to assassinate someone's character, because I can point to multiple instances in that video where they took something out of context and left out a part that would have completely like disrupted the narrative they were trying to sell. I can name multiple instances in that video. So if no one can provide me with an example of where I've done the same thing, then I'm not sure I can really buy into that as an argument.
I understand that request. So your request, and I'll repeat it just so you know that I know that we both understand it. Your request is for somebody to look through your videos, specifically through the events that they know about, and compile a video where prior to the event of the character assassination by LP, you're doing the same thing to another person that's like that.
I would like an example. I would like at least one example. And if people can't provide me, and I would have a chance to respond to that example to say, no, here is the actual context of what I'm saying, and let me show you the broader context, because I think as we've already seen in this video, I come with receipts. LP couldn't handle those receipts. Hypocrite couldn't handle those receipts, but I do actually come with receipts.
Would you be interested in talking to him on a neutral platform?
Nope. Not at all, not remotely. If he wants to come to me and not act like a coward, he is welcome to call back into the channel and we can have a conversation in a place where I have control of the situation. But as I've said, I have no interest in being part of this little culture that you guys have. The only reason I'm doing this right now is to respond to absolute falsehoods that have been perpetrated about me and to frankly amuse my audience because they know what's been going on too. But I'm not going to engage with any of these people on any third-party platform because we both know they're not neutral. They're your friends. And I don't particularly care to even have these conversations because I find them to be a giant waste of time. My preference would be for everyone to focus their energy far more productively on actually going after the woke left, which is what I've done, which is why I've written books about it and have podcasts about it and have channels about it and have whole volunteer communities about it, because I don't waste my time on bullshit as much as you guys do.
Right, but the problem is that the compilation, the people that are that were attacked in some of your videos were people who were neutral, potentially friendly, who were definitely not woke. And so when
we disagree,
I understand we disagree, but if there is such an evidence, let's assume that the worst case scenario happens where somebody makes a video and presents evidence that this is the context, here's a reference, this is the full video, here's the context, here's how the original video was edited by you or your editor to misrepresent another person. What do you believe that that there is a way to make that good in some way?
I don't edit videos. I do everything live. So I don't do what he just did and edit together a stream of clips. I've never done that. I do all of my reactions and my videos live. And so if someone wants to try to find something where they claim I'm doing that, like, best of luck to them. I don't think they're going to have much luck because I've literally never made a video like that.
That's very interesting. I will definitely find out. I do have to oppose the idea that there's nobody who's my friends among any of these people. I don't know the names you named. I'm a watcher of the LP stream, and I have a neutral opinion about him. He's not a libertarian, but the reason why I'm talking to you right now is because I don't much care the fact if you were not a Libertarian Party nominee, we would not be talking to each other. If I didn't hear about certain people getting alienated and pushed out of the Libertarian Party, not because they are woke, but on the opposite, because they are really good people who would be potentially great members in the fight against woke in schools, but they don't like the personality that's being nominated. So maybe they're wrong. Maybe they're wrong, but that's the only reason why I'm here. LP,
okay, can I just respond to that though really quickly? Because I just want to respond to what you said, and then I'm totally fine with like letting you wrap up. But I want to respond to what you said about people getting pushed out of the Libertarian Party that have interests that are aligned with mine. That is not true. That has not happened in New Hampshire. We welcome even people that we dislike. We welcome them to be a part of the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire. We have not kicked anyone out. We have not pushed anyone out. We have not prevented anyone from coming to the convention. The fact of the matter is that, first of all, most of the people who are complaining about me being the nominee for governor in New Hampshire don't actually live in New Hampshire. And so, again, this is one of those things where most of them are not members of the Libertarian Party, and they are certainly not members of the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire. So I'm not sure why they are so hell-bent on who our nominee is. They don't even live in the state.
I can explain, because the message that LP said openly is that, look, this is what the Lolberts are doing, meaning your reputation by being... LPNH is like the flagship of the LP movement state.
It is.
Throughout the United States. And so when they make a decision, and that decision involves some degree of drama, that drama directly impacts on them. It's like saying, the dancing man on stage was not a representative of the entire Libertarian Party, and we have no reason to complain about his behavior. Well, no, that dancing person was broadcast by all the news channels, was used as a bludgeon to attack the Libertarian Party and to make a mockery out of it. So yes, your reputation is and the way you engage with people is directly tied to the Libertarian Party now because of their decision.
But the people who made the decision are the people who showed up to the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire state convention in January. Anyone who is a member of the Libertarian Party could have showed up to that state convention and could have participated in the process, and maybe they would have been able to impact the outcome. But the fact of the matter is I don't understand why, the iHypocrite is not a libertarian. iHypocrite does not live in New Hampshire in any way.
Absolutely.
So why is it his business what the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire is doing? If he doesn't like it, then he needs to do two things. He needs to move to New Hampshire and he needs to join the Libertarian Party, and then he needs to show up to convention. And if he wants someone else to be nominated for governor or Senate or any other position, then he should campaign for them. But there is a process of these things. And I'm sorry, but people who do not live in New Hampshire and are not members of the Libertarian Party, who are just crying on the internet because someone that they don't like got nominated for governor, it is their responsibility to go through the proper process. I do have the support of the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire. I have the support of the Libertarian National Party, who just gave us money to finish up our petitioning to get on the ballot. And people who aren't involved can have as many feelings about that as they want. But the fact of the matter is, I got involved with the Libertarian Party. I was part of the Mises Caucus. I'm part of the people that took it over. I was a delegate at the national convention, and people can cry all they want, but they aren't getting involved. If you want to cry on the internet, then get involved and do so. Well, they are crying though.
No, you're right. You're right. There are people that are crying, but those are not the people that are making character assassination videos. The people that are making the character assassination videos are people that are just being, they just see what they believe is hypocrisy, and they're being cruel about it because that's the drama that drives their channel. And
you're right about that. We agree on that their channels are only driven by
response. Drama. So your response, the way you respond to them, all of that is judged. If you respond,
I'm allowed to respond. I'm allowed to respond. Absolutely. I'm allowed to stand up for myself. I'm allowed to defend myself.
Is being evaluated, right? It's their idea is that if you respond in a way that further degrades your position, they have more material to mock you.
I mean, they're gonna take whatever I say and twist it to be the worst possible thing that they can do. I've accepted this. I've accepted this reality that I've existed in for the last year and a half, where these people will always take everything I say, twist it to mean the worst possible thing it could say, cut things out of context that contradict that, and they're gonna do whatever they want with it. I cannot worry about what other people are doing. I can only worry about myself and the type of content I want to make and what I want to do, and people can have whatever feelings they want, but if people say something to me, or excuse me, if people say something about me on the internet, I'm allowed to respond, and I will respond in the way that I see fit.
You should respond, but I do have my last question is, I do believe that if you care enough, so you can say that you don't care, and then you might brush off the person because the person is irrelevant. I understand that approach. Many people take that approach when they're criticized, and it's a fine approach if somebody is too busy to deal with some mockery from the internet. However, if you do engage with that mockery, if you make videos responding to it, if that's your kind of content, then I don't understand why you can't find an acceptable neutral platform to engage with that person, where you can't just turn them off whenever they ask an inconvenient question.
Because it's not a neutral platform. It's not a neutral platform. It is their friends that are hosting the platform. Now, I just wanted to point out explicitly, you came on this channel, you said, I'm a foe, I don't like some of the things you said. We've had a perfectly lovely, reasonable conversation.
I'm holding back a lot.
Well, that's fine. I'm holding back a lot too. But we are engaging as adults right now and having a perfectly lovely, reasonable conversation where you're saying something, I'm responding, I'm saying something, you're responding. Everyone has this option available to them. I'm not opposed to having reasonable conversations with people. What I am opposed to is people lying about me and expecting me not to respond. I will respond if I feel like it. If they don't like it, they can either have their feelings or they can do a stream, in which I will do a meta reaction stream if I'm available to do it, just like I did did today. And we can either continue to have this back and forth, or we can continue, or we can do probably the smart thing and go focus on things that actually matter and make a difference in the real world. The reason that these people are so pissed that I got to the nomination for governor and they weren't even aware that this was happening is because they are not involved in things in the real world. And the way I was able to get that nomination was because I am involved in things in the real world. I would strongly recommend that everyone go and focus on things that actually matter. And if we can all do that, then there is no reason at all for this back and forth.
I believe that maybe that's just my personal opinion, and maybe the democracy that is driving the LP disagrees with me, and maybe that's a failure of democracy potentially, because one of us is right and a lot of people might be wrong. But I believe that one of the key components of restoring the Libertarian Party is to remove 100% of the cringe out of it. In fact, to write a contract where anyone that engages in activities that would be detrimental to the image of the LP would lose their position, would just become a normal donating member.
Well, that's not going to work.
Or anything else.
Well, that's not going to work because we literally just changed the Libertarian Party platform to say that words are not violence. We are allowed to say whatever we want. In the Libertarian Party, no one tells anyone else what they can and cannot say. No one tells anyone else what content they can and cannot make on the internet. And now it is explicitly a part of our party platform that words are not violence. And so I think
words
that
if
you, yes, exactly. If you
but
really think
words
that
can
me
be
using words,
reprehensible, though.
so what? We also took out the part of the party platform where it said bigotry is we condemn bigotry as irrational and repugnant.
Bigotry is not something that the party should deal with. The bigotry is dealt right now. Bigotry is dealt by making videos where you say that this person, his comment is, or their comment is not based on reality, where the person is lying, the person is smearing. If they're smearing a whole group of people, that's what's called bigotry. The LP should not be the deciding factor what is bigotry or not. That's why it was removed. However, that doesn't mean that the Libertarian Party leadership should endorse just everyone saying anything.
Well,
for example, if Wash decides to join the LP, I would say no, because of all of the disgustingly ugly things that Wash has done and said in the past. He is a persona non grata in the LP. And if the LP doesn't recognize the concept of persona non grata and why there should be a vote about allowing people that have odious reputations from joining the party.
There was a vote. There was a vote. It was at the state convention in January. There was a literal vote. I had to get voted on to be the nominee for governor. There was a literal vote.
There was a vote, and maybe that vote is a commentary on the efficiency of voting. If I'm right, because I might be entirely wrong about you. I'm accepting that.
Yeah, I would say that, and I would say that if you have the expectation that the Libertarian Party is going to police speech of its members, then I join the party, come to New Hampshire, try to make that case.
If a member advocates for communism, if a member advocates for communism or socialism,
there are members who advocate for communism.
Yes, and that's a mistake by the Libertarian Party to keep them in the party.
I guess we disagree fundamentally. We believe that people should be able to live in communist societies if they want to, and if they're not forcing anyone else to do anything. If Vermont wants to become a little communist utopia, Vermont is free to do that as long as they are not forcing anyone to do anything, and as long as it's all voluntary. So I have to say, I don't really think you sound like a libertarian if you're talking about forcing people to say the words you want them to say and to live in the way that you want them to live. I think we have a fundamental disagreement here, and I don't think your strategy would play well in New Hampshire.
No, I'm talking
but if you
about
really
people
care about who the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire nominates, then, move to New Hampshire and give it a try and see how it goes.
I care about people who advocate using state power to advance their communist ideas. And specifically when people do that, when people use utilitarianism to justify their position, when people don't have actual principles, and that is the main problem of the party. That's what allowed the sort of pragmatic quote-unquote movement to even exist, because there was no foundation, because everything was allowed. Because one day a person could say libertarianism is all about complete and total chaos, where everybody just does whatever they want and there's no judgment. And other people who said, no, read the source material, read Rothbard, read Mises, read Hoppe, read Kinsella, read the Mises Caucus that's connected to the Mises Institute, read some of the literature before you claim to be a libertarian. The fact that they accept people who have not done all of this reading, who do not engage with the actual ideology, is concerning. Now, if those people are just voting, donating members, there's no issue there, not a big issue at least. But as soon as they start voting on major things, then it will become an issue, because that's how a party gets corrupted. So you're building, if I'm right, this is a building on shaky sand. Obviously, I understand we disagree on the facts. So that's why I hope that the people who claim that whatever happened in this video was happening from your side as well, if that claim gets proven by just linking two videos together, I think that that's where the conversation should resume, potentially.
Well, I think that you're going to have a hard time doing that because, as I've said, I don't make videos where I go and watch hours and hours and hours of someone's content and then clip them all together out of context to drive a narrative. I do absolutely everything live, and we can, you know, if you guys want to try to make the claim that I do otherwise, then best of luck to you. And if you want to try to change the Libertarian Party to make them believe that words are violence or words that you don't like are violence, I guess best of luck to you. Give it a shot. I don't think that's going to go well for you.
That's not
I
my
also
position.
I also don't think that people should be required to read 12 economics books upon joining the Libertarian Party. And even
read one.
Karen Ann, and even Karen Ann Harlos, who is the current secretary of the Libertarian Party, says that we should be welcoming all people, even if they only agree with us on a couple of issues, because we can work together on the. Well, but that is a person who is quite literally in a leadership position for the Libertarian Party, has been voted into that position. She's been voted into that position several times. She was voted into it at the National Convention. And again, if you don't like it, then get involved. But if you are not going to be involved, then stop complaining about what the party does with the people who are involved.
That's a legitimate answer, that we should get involved for sure.
Yeah,
but
give it a try.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I do want to thank you for remaining civil in the conversation. And I just think it is a great demonstration that people who disagree can come together and have a civil conversation, even if we don't end up agreeing at the end of the day. And so I appreciate that you kind of kept your cool.
You should find a neutral platform that's
not
either
neutral.
An ally to both or an enemy to both, to speak to some of your opponents.
I'm not interested. I'm sorry. I'm just not interested.
Because that's an actual debate. A debate is not where
I don't participate in debates. I don't participate in debates. I don't do them. I don't think they change. I don't. Well, I'm sorry. And I'm really sorry to disappoint you guys. I think they're a waste of time. I don't think anyone changes their minds. I think it's just about
clickbait content on the internet. Debates are not about changing your mind.
That's exactly right. So why would I participate?
Debates are about watching who under pressure caves and allowing it's about trying to see whether a person truly understands what they're talking about and whether they can defend their position.
Well, my actions over the last 2 years have demonstrated quite clearly that I know what I'm talking about. The book I've written demonstrates that I know what I'm talking about. I'm not interested in trying to convince people who have no interest in interested in winning over internet fanboys. I'm sorry. It's just not something.
It's not internet fanboys.
I'm doing is making change and working with people in the real world and helping them to understand what's going on around them.
This is a separate point. If you don't want to participate in online blood sports, you can just quit the blood sports entirely. That's your choice. You can just be a normal
or just not participate. Like I'm allowed to have a YouTube channel without participating in your blood sports.
I do implore you to participate in policy debates as a libertarian from time to time.
I do in New Hampshire in person. I did last week. I was at Pork Fest all last week. I went to all sorts of things all last week. I do them in person. I don't think that this medium is productive. I don't think that Twitter is productive. I don't think that YouTube is productive.
I would love to see a recording of you debating.
Well, you're in luck then, because I actually debated last week as the Libertarian nominee for governor. I debated Karen Testerman, who is a Republican that's running for governor in New Hampshire. I debated her on the main stage at Pork Fest. There will be a video coming out. I'm not sure when.
A Republican is a weak opponent. You need to debate a right libertarian.
Well, then you have to take it up with the organizer of Pork Fest then, who asked me to participate in this debate on the main stage at Pork Fest. So if you don't, but you said you wanted to see. I completely agree with you that Republicans are weak, but you said you wanted to see a video because I was asked to by the Pork Fest organizer.
Debate somebody who understands theory.
I was asked to by the libertarian who organizes the greatest libertarian festival in the world. I was asked to participate, and so I did. And to bless your wish, a video will be coming out soon of my participation in that debate.
You know, there are many videos of people like Ben Shapiro from the conservative movement, right? Who debate a bunch of college students, debate weak politicians.
I don't want to do that.
You absolutely should not want to do that, because you want to debate people who are at least within your ideology.
I don't want to debate anyone. I don't care about debating anyone. I care about working with people who are trying to understand what the woke ideology is. Because I do it in person.
What is your compass?
What have I accomplished? I got a bill passed in New Hampshire. I wrote a book. I have educated.
What is your guiding northern star?
Oh, sorry, I misunderstood. What is my guiding moral star? That is a great question. I want to create a society that is based on individualism and meritocracy and has a colorblind or color indifferent view of the world, which is that we do not judge people by the color of their skin. That is what I'm working on. I want to create a society in which we are not relying on the government for public education. I want to create a society in which people understand how empowered they really are. I want to create a society in which no one is afraid of being called a racist just because they have a different political opinion.
These are great goals.
None of these things can be accomplished, but you're right, they're not debates. And because I do not believe that debating people on the internet is going to lead to, well,
these are all goals that we just share. Everybody in the chat, everybody who's listening probably share those goals.
I don't think people do share those goals. I actually believe this in the real world, and I take action to back up those goals. I think the people that debate in the chats that you are participating in and who participated in that video, they don't believe in those goals at all. All they want is blood sports and drama. They don't do anything of substance in the real world.
I don't know.
And we verified that they were lies.
The video was released a few hours ago. I'm in the process of verifying all the facts. I noticed that you were broadcasting, so I came on to talk to you directly.
But like, here's the question I would ask. It's like, if that's what you want to do, again, I have absolutely no worry that you are not going to find what you're looking for. So I'm not worried about it from that perspective. But why would you spend hours and hours and hours of your life on a clickbait trash video on the internet when you could instead go out into the real world and work with real people to try to create real change and do real activism? Go get a bill passed. Go start a parents group. Go help people that are trying to figure out what's going on.
Lying politicians are a pox on the country, and I don't care if they're within my party. So, which means that if I accuse you of lying, then yes, and I spend several hours, if I spend several days finding out whether you have lied or not, and a video gets released that showcases that fact with enough clipping, with enough
clipping. That's exactly right. That's exactly what we would be required.
With enough
That's exactly right.
To the full length source material, besides any clipping, with enough, perhaps with the entire. Maybe we should compile a 10-hour video with timestamps that is compiled out of whole streams, just so there's no editing involved. If that's a problem.
Go for it.
The reason why it needs to be done is because you cannot build on a foundation of somebody that lies about other people. If you're not one of those persons, you have nothing to worry about. But if you
I have nothing to worry about.
But if
I feel fully confident that I have nothing to worry about.
If you have never lied or misrepresented another person's opinion,
no,
I'm not confident of that.
I don't believe that I have. I don't believe that I have at all. If you think that I have, present the evidence. But as you said, present the full context of the evidence. And if you aren't willing to present the full context,
the way it has to be done is so that there is no way for you to twist it around to say it was clipped out of context, like all the leftists are doing to Project Veritas.
Well, it kind of seems to me like you're trying to build a case against me, though, which means you might be engaging in confirmation bias. Now, if you want to go, and again, I have no actual worry that you're going to be able to do what you say you're doing. So go to town, waste all your time doing it. I don't really care. I'm going to keep focusing on doing the things in the real world that I'm doing because I think that is a much better use of energy. And I think it would be a much better use of energy for you. I think it'd be a much better use of energy for a hypocrite. I think it'd be a much better use of energy for everyone involved if we focused on actually making change in the real world rather than creating nonsense on the internet.
Change starts from a strong moral foundation.
Control if you want to spend your time on nonsense. That is your decision.
It's not nonsense. It's people should have strong moral foundation and an honest relationship with the truth. They should be able to say, I wronged the person and I regret that, and actually ask an apology, and their party should be mature enough to give them that apology. But it should not be a case.
I don't think you're going to get an apology from the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire. So I'm sorry, I just don't think that's going to happen.
That's a tragedy as well. There are
Democrats. It's not, though. You don't live in New Hampshire and you're not a libertarian. You're not a libertarian. You don't live in New Hampshire, and you're demanding an apology from the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire because they chose to nominate me for governor.
Are you serious?
The woke Democrats are canceling people, and the way they do so is they ask for an apology without actually intending to accept it ever. Therefore, nobody can honestly apologize about anything because
I would absolutely accept an apology from Carrie Smith every single day. I would love an apology from Carrie Smith. I would love an apology for the lies that she's told about me. I would love an apology from Mike Harlow. I would accept it in a second. I would love an apology from the Queen from England. I would accept it in a second. I would accept an apology from any single one of the people who've spewed lies and bullshit and nonsense and doxed my friends and harassed my friends and tried to destroy the careers of my friends and put photos of my house on the internet and have harassed my supporters, have harassed my friends in New Hampshire, have harassed people in the Libertarian Party. I would accept an apology from every single one of those people.
Harassed.
Yes.
Sounds like the similar word to bigotry.
No. When people are actually going and privately
have you filed
messaging
a criminal
people,
report?
I have.
Okay, that's true harassment.
I have filed a criminal report against Kieran White in the UK for what he has done to me and the amount of bullshit that he's put me through. There is a criminal report in Surrey in the UK about all of this.
Great.
Do you have any other questions?
No, I think we've
and just to be really clear, the reason I filed the criminal report is because Kieran doxed a friend of mine. He doxed a friend of mine on the internet and then actively tried to destroy his career. That was the thing that led to me filing a criminal report, just for posterity.
This will happen to every single politician. If they have any skeletons in the closet, those skeletons come out during the election campaign as soon as they become a threat.
Well, it seems like you guys are trying to sabotage people on your own side, or who you claim to be on the side of, which is why I don't actually believe that you guys are anything but woke leftists.
is not on your side or my side.
They are actually on my side. This is actually provably true. They are actually on my side. I'm a nominee of the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire, and the Libertarian National Party completely supports my campaign. So yes, they are in fact on my side. They gave us $5,000 in cash like a couple weeks ago in order to complete petitioning. This is all public on the internet. You can go to the Libertarian Party YouTube page and see that they granted our request for money to pay petitioners so that we could finish petitioning in New Hampshire to get our names on the ballot.
Are they human?
Yes.
And does that mean that they can occasionally err if they don't possess all the facts?
Well, it was an overwhelming vote of support. And if you guys think that you were the first ones to try to derail this, you are wrong. There are people in the party that have tried and they have failed admirably, and they will continue to fail. But as I said, you're claiming that the Libertarian Party doesn't support me. That is provably wrong. That is provably inaccurate right now. Just go to their YouTube channel. It's on their YouTube channel.
You're right. That was my initial. I reacted. I can admit I reacted in shock, but I did confirm from your words, and I confirmed from various Twitter accounts that you are officially supported, receiving funding from them. That's the extent of what I managed to confirm. The other allegations I have not managed to confirm because you're right. It requires quite a bit of time to actually watch what a person said within context. And then, I'm not a person that would post on Twitter or anywhere else any information that I have not personally verified from at least two sources, and I have access to the raw data. I would not do that to another human being because I don't believe
that sounds like a really principled
false
position.
Allegations.
That sounds like a really principled position, and I would encourage you to, if you want to. And again, I don't think it's a good use of time, but if you want to go and watch the multiple dozens of hours of streams that I've done about this, go to town. But look at the full breadth of evidence, and then you decide. Because I've done entire streams about this. As they said, a 7-hour stream about Adam. I've done several streams about Carrie. I will never do a stream about Mike Harlow.
I don't really know any of those.
Well, again, people. It's all on my channel. So you're saying that you're the one saying that you want to go and verify the evidence. It's all available. Everything that I've done and said has been public, and so you're welcome to do so.
Do you stand behind every tweet where you link to a video of another person that represented them?
Do I stand behind every? Well, I stand. Yeah, I mean, yes.
When
I stand behind every tweet.
When you tweet a video of a person, do you stand behind that tweet? A tweet that then gets retweeted by members of the LP?
Well, are you referring to something specific?
Yes, but I have not. I have something specific in mind. What is it? I managed to speak to you about an hour into investigating this, so I will find out. I'm just.
What is the tweet that you're referring to specifically?
You have referenced another woman that engages with the school issue, and you've tweeted about her.
Which one? What is your issue or question?
I'm not ready to unveil names.
You can't. You're asking me if I stand behind a tweet, and you won't tell me what that tweet is. Can you? It's public on the internet.
Yeah, you might find it amusing, but I'm literally at the start of this. I just noticed that you're online live, and I decided to ask you some questions to get a sort of a different bias. Now I have the bias from my initial response. I have it from talking to you and your arguments. And so now I believe that if I'm going to review this information, I will be perhaps not objective, but I would have those two angles in mind.
Well, I'm glad that you admitted live on the internet that you are not being objective in what you're trying to do, and don't think I'm not going to put this in my back pocket for later.
No, objectivity. There is objectivity of the truth that we're trying to discover, but people are subjective in nature. So I think anyone that claims to be
as long as you're admitting that you're not being objective, I think that I agree. You're not being objective. Like if you want me to say that I stand behind a tweet and then you won't tell me what that tweet is and it's like a mystery, like I don't know how to help you. I stand behind every tweet I sent, I guess, but
no,
like
that's
I don't know
fine.
specifically what you're referring to. So
there's no George Jorgensen moment where somebody from the party controls your account. It's just you.
Yes, it is just me.
Excellent. That's great.
Do you have any other questions?
No, absolutely not. Thank you.
Are you going to waste a metric ton of time trying to expose me?
No, all I have to do is to the tweet that was named to me, I have to go look it up. I have to pull it up, and I have to go to the stream of the person being quoted and see if they were quoted fairly and what was the consequence of that.
Go to town.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else?
No. Take care.
All right. Well, that was an interesting experience, I suppose. I can't wait to find out what tweet he thinks I don't stand behind and took out of context. I guess we'll see. But if listen, man, like why these people are wasting so much time attacking me? Do you guys not have lives? Do you guys not have bigger things to do in your life? I don't know. I think I was pretty successful in proving that I, Hypocrite, is in fact a raging hypocrite and a coward on this stream. So I'm pretty thrilled with that. Guys, if you have questions about any of the topics we've touched on today, I promise you, I have previously covered them on my channel. I have previously covered the anti-white comments. I have previously talked about my spiritual beliefs and why, yes, I do believe that that guy is in that place that starts with an H. I do believe everyone goes to heaven because I don't believe there is a hell and I don't believe there's anywhere else for us to go. And I believe that God loves everyone unconditionally. I've talked about that. I have repeatedly shown evidence that the people that I talk about are doing exactly and precisely what I say they're doing. And it's all the same group of people. Every single time, it is all the same group of people. And you know who's at the direct center of it? Carrie fucking Smith. At the direct center of everything. She was on the stream today. She was in the chat today. All of her little minions were gathering around. I'm sure they're all reeing about me on Twitter. Whatever. It makes no difference to me. I guess we're going to wrap it here, guys. I am going to be on Joseph Ford Cotto's channel tonight, Cotto Godfrey. I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to start around 7. Oh, God, I cannot believe it's 5 o'clock. I had so many things I wanted to accomplish today, and I've been streaming for 3.5 hours with you guys because of bullshit. And this is why I choose not to engage in this community. This is why I choose not to engage with these people, because this is 3.5 hours that I could have been doing something else. And I was doing this. Emily Atwood says, is it today you will be on Joseph Cotto's channel? Yes, I will be on Joseph Cotto's channel at 7 o'clock, so in a couple of hours. So if you want to tune in there, they do take the streams down after they stream them because they don't want to get into like YouTube stuff. But we will be live on that channel in a couple of hours, and I'm really looking forward to it. I had a great conversation with Joseph on Monday. You can go back and watch it. I posted a clip earlier today, but it was a wonderful conversation. My video was shit because my internet was fouling up, but his was great. You could hear the sound, all that stuff. So that will be happening at 7 p.m. today. And as a reminder for people in my locals, writers group is today. So my local supporters have a writers group that they meet once a week on Thursdays. And so I want to remind everyone in locals that if you want to participate in writers group, that's going to be in the supporter Discord today. And I will post the link. I know I haven't posted the link to the Discord lately for supporters. I will post the link right when we get off the stream so that if you have not yet joined my supporter Discord, if you are a supporter in locals, that is something that's going to be going on today. And writers group is having a great old time. So I definitely recommend anyone that's doing anything creative, definitely get involved there. And they do exercises and they chat and they work on their projects. And I think it's a really, really great resource for people who are being a little bit more creative. All right, guys, that's all I have for right now. Thank you for spending some time with me, and we'll see you soon.